Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready.
Oh, hello, what's up everybody? Welcome to another day of StarCraft. Today we have some scrims, some lovely little bit of messing about with these players that we have. 2 best of 5s and a best of 7 to follow it up with. A finals, of course, gonna be played out here today. We have some of the probably lesser known players from Alpha X, but still, I mean, they are quite well ranked up against one another, I'd say. So I think we're bound to have some pretty darn good, solid StarCraft 2 here. It's always a bit disappointing if the one's going to be a lot better than the other one, and not always the best of games that are produced from those situations. But right now, it seems like, you know what, we're bound to have some great StarCraft. At least in some of these matches here, of course, in all the matches, great StarCraft is a more rare thing to occur, but I think we have a pretty solid chance here to have some pretty darn close matches where some crazy stuff can happen. I think they're doing the vetoes right now. Either that or they are, in fact, just solely spamming emoticons and that type of thing. Let me move the microphone a little bit closer here. I'm not quite sure how much of a difference it makes audio-wise, but there you go. All right. Actually, I didn't move the headset here. Let me grab that one. Clean it up a little bit here, at least. Jeez Louise. What a messy room. Anyway, all right. There we go. All right. That's secured. But yeah, anyway. I don't know if I told the names just yet, but it's we're starting off with Suna versus Firefox, the Chinese Protoss versus the French Zerg, and afterwards we'll be following it up with Exo Striker, one of the younger players from Alpha X, also a Protoss versus a Wooded Microbe. I'm not sure if that's Microbe or Microbe, actually. Let's just call him Wooded. Wooded versus Exo Striker. Wooded. Anyway, yeah, they're bound to have a best of 5 after this, and let's hope that all these players will deliver. Now, of course, it does produce a little bit of trouble to having a Frenchman playing against a Chineseman here. Not necessarily because French and China are at war with one another. That's not the case at all whatsoever. It's more so that, of course, the servers are a bit tricky to really decide which one we're going to play on. And we're going to be starting off on the American servers, I believe. And then we're going to switch back and forth between this one and actually Europe. So maybe Firefox is going to have a slight advantage ping-wise here. Now and again, but oh well. I don't bother myself with those types of trivial things. I'm also here to just call out all the other trivial things that are occurring. There's the Suna. Alright, I think we may have been waiting for that one, actually. Maybe on the wrong server there, ultimately. That would kind of stop the progress of starting the games if one of the players is on the wrong server. Anyway. Yeah, there we go. I think we do have the French stream going as well, the French Alpha X stream. So if you are French or if you enjoy the French language, you can check out Miguel, and I believe it is Onigami right now. They are going to be available right there on the French stream. I'm pretty sure they're casting in French anyway. That would make sense to me. I think Miguel enjoys casting mostly in the French language. Anyway, so all right. Wait a moment. Isn't this a veto process or a best of 3? I'm confused. Maybe I got it wrong. I see on Team Liquid that it's supposed to be a best of 5, but maybe it is a best of 3. Who knows? Who knows? Anyway, how are we all feeling today, guys? I was told not to have a delay on the chat, so I did it anyway. There's a slight one though, only 40 some seconds. There we go, alright. Right, I'm not going crazy, luckily. It's always nice to know that I'm not that much of an idiot. Where I'm like, wait, is this a 3 or is this 5? Counting is difficult. Of course, managing these things as well is very difficult as well. And if you're already doing other things, then it's a lot easier to trip on those types of things. I'm just sitting here. When to start a game? Well, when you should start a game is the moment you wake up and you kind of have to go to work, but you don't want to go. You call in sick and that's when you start the game. Otherwise, you know what, in a coronavirus, you can just say you have a little bit of a sniffle. Slight dribby from the nose when you woke up and you're not quite sure if you should go to your work because, yeah, you know what, it could be the case that you have corona. You don't want to spread it around, right, in the entire rest of the faculty. And there you go, another reason, another great moment to start the game. Also, another great moment to start gaming is when you're born, pretty much. If you're born and you're alive, that is pretty much the moment for anyone. But, well, they're doing the vetoing process now, probably. I know I'm messing about. I'm just trying to buy some time. Firefox and Asuna are this. It's a little bit tricky. We did start off with the wrong veto process. That's kind of the hold up here. We started off with the best of 3 vetoing system, and now we have switched it up. We've switched it up, and it does look like Golden Wall and Zen will be vetoed. Who says it can't work from home with StarCraft 2 in the background? Exactly. Exactly. That's when you watch StarCraft 2. That's not when you start gaming StarCraft 2. I really need to take my own lessons as well. I probably should. Don't do a lot of gaming of StarCraft 2 recently myself, and luckily I still have a lot of casting, so that kind of fills up that gap of StarCraft 2 needingness and fulfillment. And there's still confusion about the vetoes now. Alright, so I think, I believe Zen and Golden Wall are vetoed. Right. Alright. There we go. Whoa, this is tricky. SFE can't work at home. Well, yeah, I'm not sure if you could. Maybe if they, you know, get better technology and like use, how do you call it? Like the RC little cars, one of those control panels, and you can just kind of stay at home with some VR goggles or something, and then work from home that way, and your SCV suit just kind of does whatever you do. That would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool. What if all those SCVs, like the actual people of the SCVs, are actually in the command center? And they're just like in one of those big kind of virtual reality rooms machines. Kind of like they have for cars, but then for SCV suits. And every time you click on them, you think they're inside of the SCV, inside of the SCV, but in fact, in reality, they're not. They're nowhere near. They're just in the command center. I guess that's pretty near, but that would be pretty cool. I'm not sure in what way, but kind of an unnecessary bit of stuff. If that would have been a law tidbit, which it is not, so unfortunately. Yeah, SCVs can't work from home. Anyway, Firefox and Asuna both ready. And things will get started pretty darn soon here, guys. So, strap on in. Because it should happen pretty darn soon now. Firefox and Asuna. Honestly, I haven't seen too much of Firefox. Asuna, sometimes, you know what, I see a little bit more of in the MVP Cup and such. He does like to make an appearance there, Firefox. I'm pretty sure he's sometimes in the MVP Cup, but usually doesn't really get to a point where I get to see him. To be fair, though, Asuna, also one of the players that doesn't always get the furthest in the MVP Cups of Alpha X, and one of those players that, you know what, I recently kind of got to see quite a bit of in a, oh my dear lord, what was it again? I think it was a ZVP as well, and I believe that it was versus Starkiller? It may have been Starkiller. Actually, it may have been today. Now maybe I've watched it on Creighton's channel instead of anyway, right. Without further ado, it's showcasing how horrible I am at remembering things. In the top left side of the map, there's a red Zerg. He's from France. He is Firefox. Firefox. In the bottom right side, there's a purple Protoss. He's hailing from China, another member of Alpha X. That's all we have today, guys. Only Alpha X members. Alpha X pride to its highest. Anyway, he is Asuna. That was the weakest zoom in. Oh my dear lord. Alright, let me do that again. Asuna. Alright, that's a little better. It's still a bit bad, but alright, we'll have to make do. We'll have to make do. Out of practice with those camera movements. I don't know why exactly, but I kind of stopped doing the rotations of the cameras. I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna put in a little bit of practice here, guys. I hope you don't mind as we wait for interesting stuff to develop here. We did see the second base of Firefox, of course, having to be put down on that third base. Other than that, yeah, pretty darn standard here. The probe saying hello to all those little drones. Trying to keep them awake. Zapping them with a little taser here. If this was Dungeon Keeper, then he would not benefit from trying to hurt those enemy workers. As the workers in that game would actually increase production as they got hurt. Because they thought, oh, I'm being punished for not working hard enough. And then they would start working more rapidly. It's one of those mechanics that I'm kind of happy isn't in StarCraft 2. Oh my god, he's going to block this again. Oh, that is so painful. I guess it wasn't well, it wasn't that big of a block. It wasn't a crazy long block there. As, he does have the Zerglings, of course, already out on the map to get rid of that probe. Does have 6 of them. Is making link speed here as well. Actually, wait, there's 2 more over here, and there is 2 more over here. So that's 12 links in total, actually, with 2 more links at the home base. Trying to kind of keep this a secret for now. Those links could actually do quite a bit here at the front door of Asuna, as Asuna is moving out with that first adept. Actually, not even the second adept also not really doing anything there. Both of them out on the front door now with more and more links on the way. Firefox might be able to get this pylon here. That would be absolutely horrible for the situation. Asuna wants to get that Oracle out as quickly as possible. Puts down another pylon. Doesn't cancel it either. Link speed now completed. Everything is going quite a bit sideways here for our purple Protoss. Who did send all those adepts back home, and there it is, GG Firefox taking the first one. Technically, the first 12 workers work from home. Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess that's true. It's a very sad home that they have. It's like one big farm, a barnyard with 12 SCVs that are just living together. Without any females there either. It's just them, 12 SCV boys trying to work things out together. It's like a whole different... I would like to see this movie, actually. It's... How do you call this? What's up, the Bar TV? How you doing? It's like Brokeback Mountain, but then StarCraft 2 in a way, right? It starts off with those 12 SCVs somewhere with one command center they all have to share. It's like Brokeback Mountain combined with, I don't know if there was a comparable show in any English language, but in the Dutch language we had this one show called The Golden House, I believe, something like that. Anyway, or the Glass, I'm not quite sure actually how it was called. But it was, yeah, just a bunch of people locked into a house. They were not allowed to leave the house. Unless if they wanted to not get a lot of money at the end of the season, right? So they had to stay in the house, and they were kind of mentally tormented by one another, because the less people in the house remaining, I believe, got more money. I never watched it, but that's kind of what the vibes that I'm getting from this movie idea I just kind of threw out there. It's like half reality, half Brokeback Mountain. I don't see what could go wrong. I don't see what could go wrong with that movie idea. Anyway, it's nothing really happening with it either, though. That's it's not even a movie. It's just the premise of a movie. That's all I came up with. But I feel like it would be absolutely wonderful. Anyway, one that I would actually watch just based on that premise. All right, in the bottom right side, there's the purple Protoss from the Chinese regions. He is a Suna. His opponent, you know what, he was cheeky previous game. He's gonna do it again. He's the Red Zerg from France. He is a Firefox. Always nice seeing Alpha X members team killing each other for fun. That's all we do mostly here at Alpha X. To be fair, we just host tournaments where we can team kill each other. And it becomes less painful that way if it ever happens in a real tournament, of course. We're preparing for the ultimate goal, right? If we ever get in a situation where we are the new Jin Air Green Wings, and all of our players continuously get top 8, we're already prepared for any kind of, you know, lashback that we might get from these players being angry at each other and stuff like that, because they are team killing each other, right? Because they have been doing that 90% of their StarCraft 2 games already. Anyway, in come the links. It looks like, you know, Asuna should be okay against this. I mean, he did go for the scouts here, and that is probably the best thing that could have happened for him right now, as those links are moving across the map. A Zeller will be blocking the wall, and already, like, it's looking so much better than it did the previous time around here for Asuna. The links, you know what, might be able to get a little nibble going on those on the gateway here, but other than that, I don't think too much will happen. And there's more than enough money as well. I mean, Asuna even put 2 probes behind here, as he doesn't really know the total amount of commitment Firefox is going to throw into this. He doesn't know if there's going to be more links or even a Baneling follow-up with this. Baneling follow-up, though, on this... on heavy building, how do you call it, like big buildings with a lot of HP. Probably not the best idea. Very inefficient, especially if you're only on one base. Most likely not gonna get the amount of banelings that you would really require to push through here. Now is soon actually moving out with all his zealots and 2 adepts actually as well. Definitely making use of the quicker production that he gained here. And that might turn out into his benefit, as those adepts, you know, then the zealots all can deal with the zerglings rather nicely. He's gonna get the scout as well. Of course, that is already a pretty big deal, because now he knows that Firefox is just gonna go into a macro style kind of game for a moment here, unless if the 3rd base is a fake. But we can see, of course, that he is making more workers. There's the cancel. Lovely stuff here. The adepts did not manage to get the kill on the drone, though, unfortunately. Zerglings, actually not moving with the moving onwards with the adept shade. Just gonna go for as many kills as possible here. And there we go. Now shading forwards again towards that natural. There is a queen here. There is no queen in the main base. And there's definitely an opportunity now with only 3 links on the map as well to protect these drones. And ooh, this might be some more damage being taken here by our Frenchman. Debs shading on through again. The queen from the natural base came to help out the main base. But the turntables have turned. 6 workers here now completely destroyed. 7 workers here now absolutely devastated. And 23 workers versus 29. So that was a brilliant maneuver there by Asuna. Just completely turning the aggression up on its head. Realizing, you know what, this is not a full commitment. I can just send these units out on the map now. And try to get some damage on myself. And that's exactly what he did. That's exactly what he got done. A very nice read on the situation there. Unfortunately for Firefox, probably hoped that Asuna would stay at home a little bit more carefully. Not quite sure what might be coming his way. And now he's kind of in this weird situation. Does he still commit to just making drones here? Does he try to go for the aggression? I mean, he did have to cancel his 3rd base after already having it being delayed because of those Zerglings. And now, I mean, more Zerglings are on the way, but also still more drones. I mean, he himself as well is not completely convinced yet at what is going to happen here. And those Debs, I mean, now he should see them with the Overlords here. He doesn't have a Baneling Nest, does he? He does not. No, sir. Alright, needs to have as many queens available here as possible. Those links are gonna have to stay on top of those shades. Cannot afford to let them get in between a good position here. And I think Bibs may very well have read the situation correctly here. Those queens actually are going to die. Those shades should be cancelled. They do not get cancelled, actually. I don't think it matters too much anyway. They still get in a marvelous position. Those links, I mean, they were chasing, but not getting a whole lot of surface area here. Now, all those adepts, look at the amount of damage. All the links are dead. More drones now at the natural base. Although it was a very quick pull there by Firefox, realizing that he had to pull those workers back to the other side again. Of course, mining isn't going optimally here right now, but at least he's not losing a whole lot of workers once more here. 2 workers. Only 2 workers. That is a whole lot less than I thought would happen. Very well done there by Firefox. Managing to just barely scratch out enough units there. Keep the adepts preoccupied with those queens perhaps a little bit here. And now just need to pay attention to those shades. Can he should be able to save this 3rd base, right? There's no contest here, right? Or at least there shouldn't be. Okay, yeah, Asuna knows he's just gonna go for the Ling kills here as much as possible. Did get himself a 3rd base behind this as well. And now we do have that Baneling Nest on the way here from Firefox. Are we just going to be seeing more and more Zerglings? It looks like we very well might. And yeah, I mean, after a bunch of aggression from Firefox, Asuna managed to do a whole lot of damage with the defensive units that he made. Now the roles might be reversed here. I mean, that's a lot of sentries, but the force fields aren't all that solid now. Still a lot of links right on top of those sentries. And look at the amount of sentries that are going to die here. Only 1 remaining. Jeez Louise, 5 sentries going down right there. That's quite a bit. And now the links trying to get another surround here. I think there are enough adepts though to clean this up. Unfortunately, with the adept glaive upgrade, of course, making life a little bit difficult. And without any banelings here to really burst down those adepts, definitely gonna be trouble. And now, oh, this is very nice for Asuna, of course, finding those banelings being morphed here. And a whole lot of them are gonna get killed off before they finish up. But you know what, those banelings, some of them still do finish and manage to find reasonable connections. But there's not a lot of follow-up here from those links that are still available. Even the reinforcements running through here. And I mean, he is losing some probes here, but he is moving forwards once again. Gonna try to get damage dealt, but Firefox actually, he does have a reasonable amount of banelings here. Wants to keep those banelings underneath the shades here. Doesn't want to give him time to really make them spread, and those are pretty reasonable connections, but is it still not enough though? I mean, there is still those immortals as well. More adepts being warped in. The links at this expansion from Asuna have completely been killed off, and there we go. GG is called. 1-1 will be our score. Alright. Are we just playing the entire series here on American servers? We very well might. Do you know what to... Oh, wait, they talked about it. Ah, right. So they're fine with just playing on American servers. That's rather nice, probably for the better of this series. Decreases the amount of complaining people can do about ping. Sure should I also... Yeah, I mean, the adepts at the third base are really nice. Yeah, I agree. They were pretty darn good. It's unfortunate, of course, that there were no workers there. Just kind of picking away at it. To be fair, though, I think if he had, like, one more adept at that third base location, he may have very well killed the third base. I think. I don't think that would have been too far a stretch of the imagination. But Purity and Industry, actually our third map here. Not a map that I would have expected necessarily coming out as the third map. But it looks like, you know what, players are kind of coming around to it. Same goes for Golden Wall. At least a whole lot of the higher up casters. As I saw in the pylon show, it looks like a lot of people right now, at least those guys, they also very much enjoy Golden Wall, and I very much agree with them. I love the design. It's great seeing new innovative ways to make these types of maps. Anyway, and this is another one of those weird maps with some unusual stuff happening in it. Anyway, let me introduce this purple Protoss right here on the 12 o'clock location. He is from China, and he is a Suna. His opponent, with a tied up score right now, he's the Red Zerg from France. He is Firefox. Now, to be fair, I mean, the Ling aggression in that second base, a little bit of a build order win, of course, right? Not a game necessarily that Firefox was supposed to win. And we kind of saw that as soon as, you know what, those links, the first initial links kind of running into the wall there. Definitely made it appear very quickly that nothing could be really achieved by those links there. And, well, yeah, Suna doing a whole lot of counter damage. And I think we were very quickly in a position where it was just incredibly difficult for Firefox to get something to happen here. Now, Firefox did go for a hatchery here. I do believe it was after the spawning pool, but that might only be because this probe was blocking the natural base. A very quick scout here, which would help out, of course, quite a bit if there was another pool first. Do you know what? These links might have a little bit more of an opportunity to get some damage done. It looks like there's no Zealot first being chroned out. There's no Nexus. Well, I say there is no Nexus. There is a Nexus. There's no skipping of the Nexus. That's what my mind wanted to say, I suppose. I guess that might be because Asuna did... Oh, he didn't even see the expansion just yet. This also seems like a kind of a weird place to take the base, right? Oh, pylon block. There we go. There are 4 links on the map though, so it shouldn't be too big of a deal. More links on the way as well. Probe trying to hide, and there we have it. Still a fairly quick third base here for Firefox. Doesn't look like he wants to ramp up the aggression, but then again, I mean, he is making pure links right now. Up to 8 already. That's a quite a amount. He's gonna have 10. Is he gonna do a repeat of the previous game that we saw? It looks so much like the game that we saw the first time around. He's making an incredible amount of links here. And once more, we're seeing the Stargate attack coming out of Firefox. He does have a full wall of this time around, though. Does have those adepts in there as well. Firefox looks like he wants to try and keep these Ling numbers hidden. And he's actually throwing in a Baneling Nest this time around as well. Mining more gas with 3 of those drones. Is he going to be able to burst down this front door? That is the question, of course. There's no sentries whatsoever, so force field's not going to be part of this equation. Lings coming in, getting a first scout off, already losing a couple of them actually. This could be trouble. Kind of showing that this is coming in. Actually, is this trouble? It's looking pretty good still. Huh. Alright, quick rewalling here from our Protoss player. A couple of links do get pulled backwards. Want to start that transformation into a beautiful little butter baneling. Now we have the links now running away. I guess it's bread links. If we use the Kozan lingo. But yeah, in they come. That's only one stalker. The Oracle not paying attention here. The shield battery immediately gets destroyed. Oh, and the links get in. That is definitely a whole lot of trouble. The links want to make sure that there's no way that this wall gets recompleted. And there it is actually. Now the links, there's only 5 of them inside. And they did let the wall recomplete here. Definitely a little bit of a miss micro here from Firefox. But he's back on top of it. But unfortunately, the Oracle's just able to get rid of all those Zerglings there. Now, more Zerglings are still streaming across the map. That third base here did get cancelled, it looks like. So, never really had the intention of having a third base here. Not that much gas available for Firefox, of course. Oracles are low on energy, but I mean, oh my dear lord, it seems like there's just gonna have to be so many links being transformed into banelings to just get the initial burst through. And then you still need so much of your Zerglings as well. So many links to try and deal actual damage here. Oracles are paying attention. Only 5 links or banelings here. I mean, get the gateway pretty low, but yeah. There it is. GG is called as Suna going up 2-1. Alright. Alright. That means that Asuna, of course, on match point. Firefox still has to win 2 more. Asuna probably was the favorite in between between these 2 players. I think Firefox realizes this as well a little bit, as he is trying to just only use Zerglings and Banelings pretty much up until now. But we're gonna have to wait and see if the table still can get turned around. Maybe going for something a slightly little bit different here. I would not be opposed. Even something as crazy as a proxy hatch or something like that. If you do intend to stay on this early game aggression, try and spice things up. Make it more weird. Make it as weird as you can. And put Asuna in an awkward position where he just doesn't feel comfortable. Because right now it just seems that Asuna is just kind of banking on Firefox going for another Zergling build before it really even shows itself. So, I don't know, it could be part of him just, you know what, adjusting a little bit, I suppose, is the word that people use in those situations. I think people say that anyway. In the top right side, we have the purple Chineseman. He's a Protoss. He is Asuna. Hey. In the bottom left, we have the red Zerg. He is Firefox. From France, of course. The Frenchman. Française. I believe that's how they call it. I hope that's not just the way that they call their the French ladies, of course. Which I do believe they have a separate word for. Now, as soon as I look at this, he is just going to continually go for that quick scout, of course, with the probe. Just playing it safe. And sees there's no nexus here right now. So what we are most likely going to be seeing is, again, the Zealot being chronoed out. Another big structure being thrown down. Probably a cybernetic score. And then perhaps a gateway as well. I don't know exactly how he's going to make this wall, but I'm pretty sure we'll be absolutely fine. Wait, what? Is he still planning to make a nexus first here? Is he misreading this? I mean, he's seen his spawning pool, right? Yes, he has. Interesting. Alright, so feeling very confident here. There's no... Wait, did he... How... Wait, what? I'm so confused. I mean, he scouted it. yet he's not doing what I thought he would against this, is he? He's even getting a second gas here. And a pylon in the main base. Huh. Is he not just gonna die now? Is he banking on Firefox not doing this again because it got scouted? So maybe he's thinking, you know what, you're probably just gonna go into macro mode from this moment onwards. I mean, if he does... Oh my god. He is. That's exactly what he's doing. How did Asuna know? How did he figure this out? How do you figure this stuff out? Is this just a gamble? I have no clue. Somebody needs to explain something to me here. As things are going in the exact opposite direction. It's like watching a car driving on its roof instead of on the wheels. Huh. Alright. Alright. Well, I guess that means that we are going to get a little bit of a longer game here. Unfortunately for Firefox, of course, though, is if he did commit to just building a whole lot of links here, I think it would have worked out pretty nicely for him. Now looks like he is going to lose just a single drone here, so that is really good. Nice micro there. Keeping another drone safe by transforming it into the Spore Crawler, of course. Man, this game got quite interesting, actually. As neither of these players really doing what I thought was gonna happen. And now we're in this situation where I think Asuna just in a dominating lead, right? Because Firefox tried to do something, he invested into that earlier speed, or well, yeah, I guess the speed as well, but also just circlings overall, right? Getting that spawning pool very quickly. And Asuna just realizing, you know what, you're not going to do this again. I know you're not going to do this again. Not with the way I defeated you the previous time around. There's no way, Jose, that is the actual plan that you're doing here. Oh my dear lord, Firefox even losing those initial links here as well. That is quite a bummer, not getting the Stalker there. For a moment I thought he was just gonna go in, activate the Oracle's energy and then run out again. That would have been pretty cool. Maybe that was the initial plan. Maybe he kind of got distracted there by something else that I missed, but... Oh well. Well, maybe he got a little bit greedy too with I can get this Stalker. Happens to me a lot in shooter games, honestly. I'm always like, I'm about to die, but I will kill all these 6 people that are in front of me now. Oh wait, I died. That's what happens with me. Anyway, 3 Oracles are quite capable of handling themselves against most anti-air. Except, of course, the Spore Crawler. That still dishes out quite a beating here. It looks like there's Spore Crawlers in every single base. So, not too many of the workers are going to go down. Only a single Queen so far. And 4 drones in total have died here. But, you know what? Asuna still with a dominating lead. Quite remarkably much, actually. Quite a lot. 51 probes versus 46 drones here. Did I say drones twice? I meant probes versus drones. But anyway, yeah, this is crazy. Asuna, his macro is just absolutely impeccable. Continuously crowning out these probes and just steamrolling ahead on economy. And Firefox, he didn't even make that many links. Look at this. He has 11 right now and he lost 7. I mean, it's a little bit of early aggression, I know, and he did go for the pool first, but still, it just seems like he should have more. And unfortunately for him, it might be a little bit of a snowballing effect where Asuna's just that much better than him. That could be the case, of course, but, well, at least on the macro departments. Firefox did get that one game right. Nothing can ever take away that game anymore. And who knows, maybe he's going to be able to blindside his opponent here one more time. He is making those roaches, he's making a lot of links. is prepping himself to start moving across the map here. And I'm not quite sure if Asuna already noticed this force of roaches and lynx. Look at this. He's avoiding the vision of these oracles like an goddamn professional. I've never seen roaches moving about this much, managing to dodge those oracles here. It is absolutely brilliant. Alright, anyway, in they come. This is quite a big army. 70 army supply actually. Almost 80 versus 35. So pretty much more than double the army supply right now for Asuna. Of course, Asuna, he does have very strong units. Those 2 immortals and a shield battery. And adepts with force fields as well available. So quite a lot of micro potential here for Asuna. But the Lynx looks like, you know what, a lot of them do get around. But most of them do manage to get stuck between the force fields and the natural debris here. Oh, the Archon's not ready just yet to help out with the situation. That's a lot of roaches. Need to start barraging down those Archons, immediately getting targeted. And yeah, this is looking very, very good so far for Firefox. Perhaps those probes right here would have been invested wisely, all that money into more defensive units. And Asuna is gonna, looks like he will lose this 3rd base, although you know what, not as much targeting happening here from Firefox as might be necessary now. A lot of Lynx, well, Zealots actually coming in to clean this up, and only 8 workers have been lost here. That is that's a bit of a shame here. I thought that a lot more damage would have been taken. But, you know what? Asuna did make those gateways in time. Did buy enough time, I suppose, for the reinforcements of his gateways to come in here. And those oracles, of course, also always just continuously using up the entirety of their energy, as they didn't really use a lot of it on the offense. Being able to help out with the defense there. Quite a bunch. Now, Firefox needs to grab himself a whole new army here, I would say. Also needs to be prepared for the anti-air. Is gonna add in Hydralisk here. But definitely didn't find the damage that he was really hoping for there in that attack. 8 workers only being killed off. And now, I mean, he's still behind, basically, in works overall. So, I mean, this attack that we're seeing right now could very well snowball into a quick defeat here for Firefox if it doesn't manage to get a great trade. Making a single Ravager to try and help out with any possible force fields. There's no force fields here though. And the Zealots immediately get on top of those Hydralisk and Roaches, just completely getting denied from their retreat. Now finally back on the creep. Gonna be able to run a little bit quicker here. Want to get to the safety of those queens. To the safety that those creep tumors provide. But yeah, it doesn't look like he can really stay alive against this army of Asuna. Bibs being confused. How did he survive that? I mean, it was just mostly, you know what, he had strong units against the army composition of his opponents, right? He had the Immortals, Archons, I guess, oh, you know, almost, right? Archons do very good against those Zerglings, so... And as long as you target down the Roaches with those Immortals, that also really helps out. He had a shield battery, and he had a very nice SimCity, right? So he was able to just kind of rotate around and keep the surface area for his opponent to a minimum. I think if those Lynx immediately got on the round, so maybe if Lynx actually, some of them went through this side over here and went for a double-sided attack, how do you call this? A flank. A flank would have been amazing in this situation here, like we are seeing right now as well happening. In come the Roaches and Hydras. Want to get on top of those High Templar, but the storms are pretty darn solid here. And Asuna manages to rotate away from the flank, so everything is on the same page there. Also at the same time managing to do quite a bit of damage with that War Prism, of course. Most likely was looking to just kind of distract with this War Prism and then roll in with the main army here to destroy a couple of bases as soon as he sees that the forces of Firefox are dealing with the main base here. But you know what? The main base is gonna fall, it looks like. And yeah, that is a bit unfortunate. I'm not quite sure if you should be happy or disappointed that that main base didn't get turned into a layer, of course. Now, it would have had a bit more HP, but it would have been extremely low. And maybe he would have gotten targeted down a little bit harder there by Asuna to make sure that he does get it. And then, I guess this way for Zealots would have gotten it. So, I guess it's a good thing for Firefox that that was not his layer, which is in his natural base, of course. Now, Asuna, after doing that, I mean, 4 bases Protoss versus 3 base Zerg. I know that Firefox is, of course, on his last life here. Doesn't have any other choices but then to try and commit to this game. There's no other game that he can hop into. And he still has a 120 army supply, right? So he's a pretty solid army here. The thing is, his army gets quite incredibly devastated here by the army of his opponent. Those Storms versus the Hydralisk. Absolutely insane, and then the Immortals just wailing away at the Roaches that do manage to run through the Storms here. And absolutely everything Firefox has, Catting, just devastated. Had to pull a lot of those forces as well into the main base there to try and deal with another War Prism harassment. Thank you for the follow, by the way, Drug Bob. Came into the right time. As about that we are watching Firefox. Just barely holding on here, actually. He still doesn't have a main base, though. I'm not even sure if it's worth getting this main base anymore. There's not that much money left. I guess the gas there is pretty solid. And you do want to try and deny this War Prism from just being here, I suppose, as well. Yeah. Firefox, 48 workers now versus 69. 69. Oh, Asuna. Probably did this on purpose as well. Just kind of to torment his opponents here. Going for 69 workers in total. Afterwards, he's going to whisper Firefox. I only went up to 69. I don't know if that's going to happen. It'd be funny though. That's something I would do, but I am a asshole in this game, of course, so I think, ooh, finally the War Prism gets dealt with. But is the main army going to take the opportunity where, you know what, those forces of the Zerg are still split up and, oh, I thought, thought for a moment there's another War Prism coming in. That would have been devastating, wouldn't it? Just like, oh, finally he gets rid of the War Prism. And there's another War Prism, yay! It's not the case, though. Ooh, this is pretty reasonable position here for Firefox, though. The forces for Asuna, they seem so fragile, but those Storms have been absolutely devastating. And now we're seeing a reasonable amount of splitting happening, but still, it's just not enough. More Zealots being warped in as the life falls, basically. And GG has to be called. Asuna will be our first finalist here. That will partake in the best of 7. That is gonna happen after this another best of 5 that we are gonna have on the other server. Of course, we're gonna go to Europe. All right. We might also do the 3rd place match. I'm not quite sure if that's gonna be a best of 7 as well. That'd be crazy, man. That'd be absolutely bonkers, but who knows? Who knows? Firefox versus either Exo Striker or Wooded. Could be pretty darn cool too. Right, I forgot this is a thing. You can cancel this from happening, right? Somehow, some way, I'm pretty sure. Can you? Can't you? I thought I figured it out at some point, but I'm not... I don't know. There we go. Okay. Our next players here, Exo Striker and Wooded Micro 2. A Protoss and a Terran. Looks like they have already decided which maps they're going to be playing here. And Golden Wall is a part of it. For sure. Purity and Industry on the 4th place. The 4th place. The 4th place. I almost said it on the Dutch way. But then I combine it with English. Press escape. I tried pressing escape. It didn't work for me. I always thought it was escape as well, so I pressed it, but it just didn't. It didn't make it through this time. I don't know. By the way, does it bother anyone that I'm quite off-center on my camera at any point? Is that a thing that bothers people? I look at it, but then, I don't know. It seems okay, otherwise it would be over here. Alright. X-Striker and Wooded. Let's see. Let's see, I hope that we do get a Terran, of course, in the finals here as well. Let me whisper Miguel a little bit. Let's take a look at what he is gonna respond with. Boom! SOS! S. Must be an SOS fan. Ah, the third place match will be a best of 3. Alright. Okay. Okay. Guess that makes sense. No, it's fine. Alright. Alright. I'm going back to my off-center camera position here. Oh, good to know. Thank you, Axis. One of the first Alpha Axis here. If not the first Alpha Axis, of course. Member. A founder. 12-month subscription there. Look at that. What a beast. What a beast. What a great person. He's an Alpha Axer. That's how you know. I don't feel comfortable with you in the center. I was enjoying the wall. Alright. Yeah, the wall is pretty nice, right? I mean, being in the center kind of cuts through that line here. And then over here. It kind of looks like I have my own little corner. And then, you know, it looks like one of those posters people would make, right? For gamers. But then I would have to be like this. Wait, hold up. Something like that. Or how the way I do it. But then over here. Wait, hold up. Over here. And then I would have my opponent in this corner here somewhere. But then upside down. So that'd be funny. I would like to see those types of posters actually. Instead of them standing next to each other, one guy just upside down on this side. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Like he would be coming down from in here, and I don't know. All right. Well, that's my idea. Swords. Was I talking about sauce? I don't get this reference. Oh, Boom Sauce. I said SOS. Maybe that's it. Is that it? You're called Boom Sauce? Alright. Well, Boom Sauce, we're about to get a lot of good games more, so... He just got chills. Well, just wait until you see these StarCraft 2 games! And the bottom left side, there's a blue Terran player. He is from Finland. Right, this is Finland, right? This is the Finnish flag. I'm not going crazy. Yeah, alright. Oh, it is. I'm a genius. Oh, that's not the wrong person. There we go. He is Wooded Micro. Boom Sauce. Yeah. Yeah, alright. My bad. In the top right side, we have the yellow Protoss. From Russia. One of our Alpha X Junior Cup participants. Absolutely brilliant. This kid is one of the younger players of Alpha X. He is Exo Striker, the Russian Protoss. Is he going to be able to get his way through his Terran opponent of his and get himself a victory here? Get himself into that best of 7 finals? Who knows? Who knows? Alright. Oh, there's the cybernetic score. Pretty interesting wall so far. Probably most likely against those Reapers, of course, from jumping in here. Quite sure. Yeah, it seems alright. I think there is still a little gap here, of course. Not the greatest of deals. Still, the Reaper's going to have to do a whole lot of walking before it's going to be able to get really to the probes. And in comes the Reaper. Very quick safety bunker here as well. I kind of like that, especially considering that he didn't really scout with any type of SCV in the early parts. Yeah, he's playing it extremely safe, actually. Now with this robo facility in here as well, gonna deny that Reaper any access here. But at the same time, I mean, the Reaper's immediately gonna see whatever the hell he wants, so, or what he needs to see anyway. Oh, that was the scouting probe trying to come in here. Getting gunned down by that Reaper. I guess it still saw quite a vital information there, as he did see the Marine, the bunker, and the command center there. So pretty much most of the intel that he could have gotten immediately being acquired there by our yellow Protoss. Alright. Reactor on the way. Also, starport, factory, tech lab. There you go. For all your build order maniacs there. What about the Protoss? We're seeing the robotics facility. Or I mean, here it is. And the robotics bay. Set that exactly like I wanted to. Did both of them actually get scouted by the Reaper though? Yes, they did. Alright, so Wooded should be aware of what is coming his way. Actually, gonna go for a Raven here, possibly, or Banshee. What's it gonna be? Banshee, alright. And another tech lab being thrown down on that factory here. What if it's just Banshee Thor? I think I saw a tweet about it. I think it was today, or maybe it was yesterday, but yeah, about Banshee Thors. Quick turnaround with that observer there. Doesn't want to get too easily scanned and killed off by those Marines. And now the observer sees what is happening here in this main base. And only now gets gunned down. So that means that Extra Striker is going to be able to start preparing for what is coming his way. Immediately throws down those shield batteries. Which means that it's going to be a lot easier, of course, for him to get things ready. I mean, Wooded is going to need 2 Banshees basically to deal any damage, economically speaking. Now, the Warp Prism speed did get researched here, and Exo Striker did get himself a Disruptor as well. This is something that we do see a lot from him, and he is pretty darn good at it. Oh my dear lord, that's just 6 workers gone, just like that. Oh, but the Warp Prism gonna fly across the wrong. Well, never mind. He's fine. Not even really losing health here. Now the Banshee seeing the shield battery here. A little bit disappointed. So slightly slow with getting pulled backwards. Is that Stalker going to get one more shot in? No, it's not actually. That was close. That was as close as it can get. 5. Oh no! Oh my god. Alright. That's the end of that push. Exo Striker gonna put himself in a very nice position here, as he just killed a whole lot of workers and just killed off the entirety of the force here from Wooded, as well as keeping that Banshee at bay. Second Banshee is coming in here. Would like to see those two grouping up here, but you know what, actually the first Banshee, or the second Banshee I should say, kind of giving away this plan. Oof. Oof. Not the greatest Banshees there that ever existed, unfortunately. It looks like another time we're gonna see the War Prison coming in. Not getting as many kills here. And this one single Banshee that is still on 5 HP is, you know what, not very fortunate. Well then. Well then, I don't think that could have gone any worse so far for Wooded here. That is... that's gonna leave any Terran with a poor taste in his mouth. And in he comes again, and there goes... Well, at least that's only 2 of them. I think this supply depot actually helping out quite a bit against that disruptor ball. I'm not sure if that was meant for the disruptor ball, but it worked out against the disruptor ball, so maybe something I should start doing myself here. Honestly, it looks like one of those supply depots that you just kind of throw down because you got supply blocked at some point and you didn't want to get supply blocked for too long. And there we go, 2 more SCVs getting destroyed. 11 so far already. An Exo Striker with this micro assist, it's just crazy, man. It's... Jeez Louise. 1 disruptor and 1 war prism with the upgrade for speed, and he's just a happy little Protoss. This is what Protoss feel like when they see Widow Mines. this is what it's like. Okay. A lot of these bio units getting cut out a little bit here. Actually, those Colossus getting rather scarily close, and a disruptor ball being thrown out there. Quick pull away though, good split there from Wooded. And manages to kill off the disruptor, so you know what, we're gonna have to see another disruptor being built ultimately, or maybe we're just gonna see the entirety of these the Terran army being killed off here. As the siege tanks trying to target down, I'm not quite sure what they're trying to target down, but 16 workers did go down. I love the attempt of trying to build buildings in front of these forces as quickly as possible. Definitely helping out a little bit here, and he needed absolutely every little bit that he could. Unfortunately, even that was not enough, and Exo Striker, I mean, with that incredible start there of the series, gonna be able to grab the first victory into his favor. Now, yeah, I mean... Was that all just the War Prism and the Disruptor? I'm not quite sure. I think a lot of it was also, of course, the Banshees getting scouted, and after getting scouted, not really being able to do anything. Going in with a singular Banshee, and then afterwards with the second Banshee, not really being able to group those 2 together, so we can start one-shotting probes there, so still not doing any damage there. The push, of course, as well, the Disruptor, I guess that is a little bit the Disruptor's fault. But yeah, killing off like 90% of the Marines that were meant to try and deal some damage to the Protoss there. That was a nasty little bit of action right there. Alright guys, we're gonna go into another game here. Game number 2, it's gonna be Golden Wall. Well, maybe my favorite map here actually. I think Golden Wall might be my favorite map. I don't know if it's my favorite map to play on, but I mean, I just love seeing games on this one, as it feels like there's still quite a bit of possibility for all sorts of creativity. In the bottom left side, let me get you guys in the game actually. In the bottom left side we have a blue Terran player. He is Wooded Micro, the Finnish Terran. In the bottom right there is a yellow Protoss from Russia. He is Exo Striker. Exo Striker. Now, I don't think I'm gonna... Anyway. Wooded, what's your plan here, my friend? Looks very standard so far. Exo Striker's gonna go for the scout once again. And Wooded one more time. Not really doing too much scouting with that earlier SCV, just like the previous time. That might mean that once more he's going to have to go for that very early on bunker. He's going to be playing in the dark here a little bit, but then again, I suppose Exo Striker, one of those players that does like to just kind of go for the macro style, is a little bit predictable perhaps, but he's so gosh darn good at his at whatever he does. It doesn't seem to matter too much. Right. Go grab him, boy. Alright, he's out. Never mind. Oh, he's coming back. He's coming back for more. Time to give that probe a beating, son. Come on. Actually, the Reaper will probably take care of it. Looks like he should take care of it. Oh, no, you know. Probe wisened up and moved away from the Terran base here. Didn't want to continue on with those disrupting of the Terran forces. Reaper looking around, trying to find the probe. You know what? That was a very nicely timed probe, but Wooded apparently already aware that that is going to be happening here. And waiting for that probe to make the return to the base, as a lot of Brothels do just kind of wait out the timing for that Reaper to start moving across the map here. And then they try to rotate back into the base here after the Reaper leaves. And of course, that's what we almost saw happening there, but it looks like Wooded is just kind of aware that that stuff is happening. And dealing with it before it even did happen. Now, Exo Striker is going to add in a Stargate here. So a little bit different already than what we saw previously. Is going to go for the Scout as well with this single Adapter on the Reaper. For Wooded is going to try to get Scouting done as well, but there's already another Adapter available here for Exo. Now, oh my dear lord, is he even going to be able to do a little bit of damage here? Might be able to pick up an SCV. Which, you know what, the Mule was dropped in the natural base here. And did have to run out across the map, so already a little bit of wasted potential mining there. And Phoenix is actually also going to get constructed, and that's going to work out very nice against what Wooded is doing. He's going to go for Liberators, you see, so Liberators, of course, I mean, they do have anti-air attacks as well, but it's not that great. It's not that amazing here. And more Phoenixes getting constructed by Exo Striker. Now, we do have a little bit of a booping going on here, but oh my god, he didn't run in. He booped away the Stalker, but then he didn't commit to running in. May have been able to do quite a bit of probe damage here, but unfortunately a missed opportunity. And now with the buildings here as well, making life difficult. Right, there we go. There's a couple of worker kills. What is happening here? Oracle's actually getting even more kills here. Now with the Phoenix as well. Oh my dear lord. I think this might be why the Hellions didn't run in. Those Oracles back at home. And now he's coming in with the Liberator, realizing that there's Phoenixes on the prowl, looking around and about. Needs to be very careful with this one. Really kind of in desperate straits here to do damage with this Liberator. 40 works versus 26. I guess he is making that third base very quickly, so that might be able to save him out a little bit here. But he might lose even more workers as those flying units are across the map now. Coming on in, killing off the SCV, trying to make that third base. And in comes the Liberator. Alright, Liberator, what can you do? What you got? What you got, my son? Alright, he's gonna get one kill, maybe two? He's gonna get one. And a third base. As well for Exo Striker. Sorry, guys. A little gas coming through the food pipe, the food tube. I mean, it's a little bit of missed mining here. I suppose he did kill off another worker that did get created, so let's take a look. Income advantage here. Just, it's really small, isn't it? It's not a big graph advantage at all. I guess it does go up to 1k, but then again, I mean, it's already back to normal now. With Exo Striker at the advantage, moving across the map with quite a lot of his workers now. Gonna try to set up on that gold base here. I'm interested to see if he's gonna build a planetary fortress here. So he does not have it turned into an orbital just yet, but actually no, it is an orbital, so just wanted to grab that gold base as quickly as possible. Not a bad idea actually, grabbing this gold base here. Feel like that might be one of those ways that he can potentially grab enough resources here to mitigate the amount of difference there is right now between the incomes of these two players. 43 works still for 54. It's getting more to regular numbers. That an Oracle... Wait, did he cancel the... What did he cancel? Was that a reactor that he cancelled for in favor of a tech lab? Why is he making a starport with a tech lab on it? Interesting. Interesting. Anyway, the forces of Wooded are moving out here. The siege tanks are sieged up. Those phoenixes, of course, still looking for damage as well. And a Liberator actually also going to be able to preoccupy those phoenixes for quite a while here. Now the Marines are going forward. They want to get on top of those phoenixes. Don't want to lose those siege tanks for nothing. And just a massive pickup with all those phoenixes. Yeah, that is just... Oh my dear lord. That's disgusting. That is disgusting. Entire army here of Wooded getting destroyed here. Decimated. Not much remaining here now for Wooded. Who is, you know what, trying to just get a defense going. He's adding in more missile turrets here. Is there a gas at the gold base? Yes. Yes, look at that. There you go, Bibs. But yeah, those Phoenixes definitely paying for themselves. The Marines perhaps they're overextending a little bit here. As well as those the siege tanks kind of, you know, I'm not quite sure, but I felt like they were too close to this edge. Normally you would like them on edges. But against Phoenixes, it's very difficult then to get your Marines in a good position. And I would have liked them to be a little bit further away. So the Marines would have a less hard time getting underneath those Phoenixes. And just gunning them down if they ever try to lift up those siege tanks. But then again, that was just a very, very difficult fight there for Wooded to ever really try and take. Okay, 5 more gateways now in the production tab. Wait, did I say Bibs asked that? I mean Boom Sauce. Boom Sauce asked that one. My bad guys. Apologies. I'm just used to Bibs being a purple colored chat. Which he is not right now, so that's interesting. Liberator is in a position to try and take some probes down with him before those Phoenixes do, of course, inevitably are going to fly into his face. Marauders as well, getting more heavily into this army composition. Not a bad idea against the heavily supported army of Starkers and Colossus here. Liberator only killing off, well, I guess 5 workers. That's pretty good, but also 1 Stalker. And I'd say, yeah, that's finally finding some real damage here with that Liberator. Not too shabby. Not too shabby indeed. A Ghost Academy now as well. And the Templar Archive. So both these places kind of finishing up with their tech trees here. It's very rare that you do see a PvT moving past this point in tech. I mean, what else is really available? Battle cruisers and carriers? I don't think so. I don't think that would be a good call for... Just because of all the upgrades that you've already done. Why did my color change? Now I'm paranoid. Lol. I don't know. I don't know, actually. Anyway. This is a scary army, guys. That's quite a lot of zealots. A lot of stocks as well. They do have charge upgrades. Oh, there we go. Standard thermal lance as well. There's a good amount of siege tanks towards this gold base, but this other base over here, I mean, it is transforming into a planetary fortress. It doesn't matter though. It looks like, you know what, Extra Strike is committing to this fight, which is probably the best fight that Wooded Micro could have asked for, unless if this was a planetary fortress too, or this one as well. But it doesn't look like it's gonna matter. Extra Strike is also just too gosh darn strong here. There's not much to really deal with those Colossi, and yeah, everything for Wooded does get killed off here. Extra Striker going up to match point, 2-0. All right. Oof. All right. Wooded, my boy. My little Terran brother. Something's gonna have to change here for you to still be able to grab that point in the finals here. Be absolutely amazing, of course, seeing him against Asuna, but so far not looking all too good for our Finnish Terran player here. He's in a bit of a pickle. How else can we call this? He's getting a bit destroyed, unfortunately. Extra Striker, of course, he is a very formidable opponent. Not one to be underestimated by anyone, really. And we know, actually, Extra Striker has been able to grab games against even tougher opponents. Some of the better players of Alpha X have fallen to him. And, you know, he's showing his dominance here once more. Showing that those games were not flukes. And he, in fact, is one of those players that you just can't get around that easily. Alright, anyway. In the bottom left side of the map, we have a blue Terran player. He is none other than the Finnish Witted Micro. And yes, we're seeing this correctly. This is what's happening this game right here. Adding in a bit of aggression, it looks like. Anyway, in the top right side, there's a yellow Protoss. We have the Russian, the youngster. He is Exo Striker. And yeah, the prospects of a PvP finals is looking more and more likely here. Then again, Wooded not giving up that easily. He only has to win 3 games, to be fair. And, well, with a good amount of cheese hitting his opponent where he doesn't expect it, perhaps something can be achieved here. You never know. This is a double gas, double barracks proxy, so I'm assuming it's going to be Marauders here. I would be surprised if it is going to be Reapers, but you know what, that is a possibility as well, of course. We're seeing Extra Striker still putting that second pylon on the low ground here. Yeah, that we do have a tackle lab being added on. But yeah, with me figuring this out, Extra Striker right now has to kind of figure out as well what is coming his way. It could very well be the Proxy Marauder. He sees the double gas being taken. He only sees one worker from each of those, so it could still be Reapers, I suppose. It could still be a 1-1-1 Proxy. And the, you know what, it could still be Marine. Well, I guess Marine Proxy wouldn't really make sense. Anyway, Tistic, thank you for the follow, my man. Hope you're having a good time. We just wanna have a good time all the time. Anyway, yeah, it still could be a numerous amount of things here. He's not really trying to figure out what is gonna come his way, and making an adept right now. How well do adepts do against Marauders? I suppose they do better against Marauders than Stalkers would. And better than Zealots. So I think adepts are the right choice here, but it looks like Extra Strikers is gonna get one of everything. And then just add a bunch of shield batteries to try and just combat whatever is coming his way. Try to be ready for everything here. Let's see if that works. I'm hoping for Wooded here that it will not work, of course. He doesn't have Concussive Shell. He does actually have Concussive Shell. Never mind. Looked like those units did not slow down whatsoever. But yeah, with 2 shield batteries here now. Another one on the way. 3 in total. That could be trouble. That could definitely spell out a doom scenario here for our blue Terran, who's just making more and more Marauders. You know how much damage those Marauders are going to have to dish out against these shield batteries before anything actually starts breaking here. It's quite a hell of a lot, and it's going to be very difficult. This probe as well, for Extra Striker, still alive in the main base. Wooded has been trying to kill it for pretty much the entirety of the game. He's had an SCV chasing it. It's just not going to die here. Extra Striker still just continuously adding on with the waypointing here. That's crazy. Anyway, here we go. One more time. These Marauders should be trying to commit here. Do they have enough damage now to out DPS those shield batteries? You know what? There we go. That's finally a kill, but he lost 2 Marauders for the price of it. Sentry as well on the high ground might be able to put down a force field here to deny the retreat, but Actually, he doesn't go for it. Saves up more of that. And Barracks now flying back across the map here. Wooded in a hell of a lot of trouble. Only 5 Marauders remaining. And there's an Immortal now as well. Immortals do a crazy amount of damage to those Marauders. And yeah. Yeah, that probably went as horrible as everyone kind of saw that it did. There's not much you could say about that, except for Wooded, I suppose, does have a worker count advantage right now. But I'm not sure for how long that is going to be at his... how long that is going to be in his advantage here, because, well, Axis Strike is marching across the map here with quite the scary army. A lot of Stalkers, and we have to remember those barracks were flying back across the map here, so not a whole lot of production facilities available for Wooded to really make use of. More Stalkers now being created as well. That siege tank, it's gonna be desperate straits. We need that siege tank right now. We need that siege tank yesterday, pretty much. Whoop, Prism sending in those first couple of Stalkers. More units now being just elevated into the main base. And Wooded is gonna have to pull off all his works here. Gonna lose a hell of a lot of economy. And I'm not even sure if he's gonna be able to kill this off here with the forces that he does have. That siege tank still being bothered by that one as the probe. Oh my god, the probe was still there. Exo Striker gonna be able to take this cleanly. 3-0. No problem for him. Alright. Alright, that means that we are gonna hop into a TVZ. Wooded versus Firefox. That should be pretty darn good. Which will be our best of 3 match to decide who is gonna get the 3rd place, first of all. And then afterwards we will have the finals. We will have the finals, which is the best of 7. Although Wooded did just immediately leave the party here. Oh no, wait. Firefox joined the part. There we go. Alright, Exo Striker left. Wooded joined back in. Alright, he's fine. He's fine, guys. He doesn't mind. Let me quickly try to grab my... turn on the lights here. 1 second. There we go. Make myself a little bit more lit up. Losers finals. Great way of putting it, Miguel. Good job. The lower bracket finals. Oh, man. But then, I mean, PvP with Exo Striker, I think should be pretty good. I'm hoping to see a whole lot of War Prism Disruptor play, which, you know, it is always lovely to see. Exo Striker just has a pretty darn cool way of playing Protoss overall. And I'm hoping that is what we're going to be seeing here in a little bit. But before then, of course, we do have the TVC best of 3 gonna be taking place here. Looks like Purity will be vetoed out of the map pool in this Sen as well. For this best of 3, I'm still hoping for Golden Wall to have a chance here. Firefox gets a 2nd ban. What's gonna be his choice? Empire. Empire out of there as well. And Simulacrum. Exo Striker did 3-0 there. How you doing, Kashim? Hope you're doing alright. Nice to see you here. Good to have you. One of the OSC tournament managers. I don't know what to talk about right now. I don't think we have a whole lot to talk about. Except for, I guess, which maps we're going to be playing on. Not much else to discuss right now. Nightshade will be our first map. It does appear like Golden Wall will be part of the equation here. I'm secretly still hoping it's going to be the second game that's going to guarantee us that we're going to see it again. I would love to see Golden Wall just completely figured out, and then suddenly people come up with different strategies where they just go around the entire other way, or look like some sort of abusing of these of this incredible long structure, basically, that won't allow any army units to move over to the other side of the map. Splits up the entire map in two, basically. Anyway. Yeah. Of course, after this one, we'll have a Suna versus Extra Striker, but first, the loser finals. The third place match. That's a nicer way of putting it. Who's going to be the third place up components of this? Is that a word? Components? Opponents? Competitor. I think I'm thinking of competitor. I think that's the better one. Looks like Golden Wall will be the last one. Alright, so Nightshade, Everdream seconds, and then Golden will be our last map here. I suppose that's a pretty alright map pool. Nightshade. You know what, Nightshade, I'm kind of glad in a way that it's in the map pool, because it gives a nice contrasting color thingamajig as opposed to the other ones, right? A lot of the other maps right now are kind of bright. Nightshade is one of the darkest maps I've ever seen. And I like the purple, but the purple, not that much purple around, right? Only in a couple of bushes, on the edges as well, but in the middles and stuff like that, it doesn't seem like it's that prevalent. There's no, I would have loved it if it was like a little bit more similar to, oh god, what was that map called again, with the bridges in the middle? We had it like previous season. I'm an idiot for not remembering it right now. I'm sure it will come back to me. Oh, thank you, person in chat. You just wrote it, didn't you? Yes. Alright. I'm guessing this, as we do have a 45-second delay. But, I'm sure somebody will mention it. As, you know what, not everyone is as damaged in the brain as I am. Due to, you know what, just a lot of partying and a lot of drugs and that kind of stuff. Really, I promise, honestly. It's not just my, just the way I am. Alright, anyway, in the bottom right side we have a red Zerg player hailing from France. Can he get himself a couple of wins here? He is Firefox. In the top left side of the map, we have a blue Terran. So you can see it's in the top left right there. He is from Finland. He is Widit Micro. Microbe. Microbe. Is his name actually Rob? It should be. Definitely should be. If it's not, you should consider changing it. Because I told him so. Right, once more, with it going for a pretty standard opening here, it looks like. Adding in that refinery barracks as well, of course. Wants to get that Reaper quick expand going. And Firefox doing a pretty standard thing as well on the other side of the map here. Gonna have to wait for this one to spice up a little bit. Alright, you have the scouts coming out. Firefox as they, as those naughty little Zergs do, just relying on those overlords, of course. Does kind of feel like they're sending out the elderly, right? The Zergs to try and scout. They're like, you know what, you guys can go do that. We know you're slow and we know you have pain with every little movement you make, but you know what, just walk across the entirety of the map and tell us the most important things of what is happening. In this game so far. There goes the Reaper. Down is the first command center as well. And, speed on the way as well. That's a pretty quick speed. Still with 2 drones in the gas over here. Might be a little bit of an indicator that we are going to see a bit of aggression coming out. It's going to depend on Firefox, of course, though. We're still seeing drones in the production. Is he going to throw down that 3rd hatchery anytime soon? That's another big tell, of course. There's the 3rd hatchery. Already did have it available there. The Reaper should definitely go and check if there is a 3rd base. Definitely should help out quite a bit here. Queen attempting to zone the Reaper out here. Oh, actually does manage to grab that creep tomb in there. Lovely stuff indeed. Now, it still hasn't spotted that 3rd base just yet, so surprised that he's being this casual about it. Maybe just kind of assuming that that 3rd base is going to be there. I mean, as long as he kind of keeps tabs on the front door as well. He sees that there's only a certain amount of links, but of course roaches or roach warrens could always be hidden right over here, and then just kind of with the Queen zoning out the Reaper, especially if the Reaper doesn't even attempt to go into the main base. A little bit of a blind play here by Wooded is what I'm trying to say, but I don't think it's gonna be that horrendous for him. It's not gonna be game ending or in any extent of the word. As he, you know, he seems to be still in a pretty solid position right now. 3 queens are available, and they're gonna have to try and deal with quite a lot of those Hellions, and of course the Banshees as well. Now, I think Hellion Banshee has been pretty much a build that's been around since Wings of Liberty, right? Since the earlier days of StarCraft, where people just kind of started figuring out Terran, the first initial times. And they realized that, you know what, against Zergs we can just kind of make those Hellions be okay against those Zerglings, and then the Banshees can come in later on after the opponent just tries to deal with those Hellions continuously and make life absolutely miserable for any type of Zerg that is trying to defend. Oh, a Spore Crawler actually at the front here from Firefox, also in the 3rd base, the natural and the main. Playing it super careful here. I guess he did see with that Overlord, in fact, that there are Banshees on the way. So that's some solid stuff right there. The Hellions, oh my dear lord, are they going to commit? No, they're not. Alright. Definitely don't think that would have worked out for them. I'm going to try to still cancel this base over here, but the drone was in time to the location. And the Hellions just a little bit too late with going over there to try and get the cancel, or at least kill off the drone and block the building of it. Zergling's getting a little bit aggressive there. Where's the Banshee, actually? Where are these Banshees? Where's the other one? Alright, here it is. There we go. Did manage to grab 3 kills here, but is that going to compare even close to the amount of kills about to get? Kill dropped off here by those Hellions. Dropship Magic, thank you for the follow, my man. Lovely stuff there by Wooded, actually. Killing off 7 works in total. Wait, what's that? With the... Oh, actually... It is with, so, well, they didn't add, add the 2 together, so that's 10 works in total right now being killed off. Putting 48 works versus 48 works pretty much. Hellions rotating back in here. Almost killing off that Queen, nice transfuse there. And Wooded is gonna attempt to go for the battle mech, as we can clearly see now. Indicated by the amount of factories, first of all, and these both these upgrades being taking place at the same time. We're still seeing more Banshees being created as well, which is pretty darn cool to see. Those Hellions trying to decrease the surface area of those links. Nice micro. You know what? From both those players, actually. Kind of liking that engagement there. That's pretty cool to see. With it going into the, in between the Spore and the hatchery. Firefox quickly moving about with a couple of those links around the other side. Maybe a little bit too many. Didn't have that many on the left side anymore, but ultimately I feel like that was a pretty equal exchange. The problem though might be, of course, well, there's more on the way. How many links do we still have? There's 13. We also have a Spire on the way. A Spire here could definitely do quite a bit of damage if there is just a whole bunch of Mutalisk, right? I think if you just throw all the gas that you have right now as Firefox into those Mutalisk, you might be able to do quite a bit of damage as those Cyclones. There's only 4 of them right now. There's only 1 being created at the same time. So definitely a big opportunity there to make stuff happen. 7 Mutalisk now on the way. Not gonna grab that plus 1 attack though just yet for them. 10 in the production tab. And 2 more factories being added in here. Now with both the Hellion and the Cyclone upgrade finishing up here, Wooded starting to move out once more aggressively. Gonna attempt to get some damage dealt here at this 4th base potentially. Just grabbing himself some tumors so far. Gotta cut those out of course. A lot of the Locons did get used up on that Overlord. There might be a strategy here for Firefox just to use a Overlord or some sort of a Queen to try and get those Cyclones to lock onto that. And then fly in with those Mutalisk, avoiding a whole lot of damage being taken there. And then, of course, those Mutalisk are going to be very capable. Just trying to deal with all those Hellions. The Zerglings here, oh my dear lord, that is an absolute massacre. Probably the worst way that you can try to engage here with those Zerglings. Where are the Mutalisk? What are they doing? They were at the wrong side of the fence here. Gonna have to fly back around all the way. Actually, oh my god, more Hellions now coming into this 3rd base as well. Are they actually? No, they're not gonna kill off this base, right? That would be ridiculous. Okay, well, at least most of the army here of Firefox, or Wooded actually, sorry, Wooded did get killed off. I think a lot of those Cyclones did move backwards. As we only have 1, yeah, so most of them did move backwards. And now Thors are in the production tab here with already +1/+1 available for them against these Mutalisk. And you know what, the Mutalisk only 16 right now available. If their repair is good, shouldn't be able to kill this off here. And no, they will not. And now 2 Lock-ons as well. Those Cyclones want to kill. Oh my god, that was close. Alright, so this Mutas, they do survive for another day. Only 1 of them getting picked there, but still not really, I guess they killed 4 workers. 4 works for a Muta. It's not the worst that could happen. And they are still pretty good against those benches as well, of course. But the bench production right now has been cut off. Doesn't want to go any further with that one. And now with the Thors, the Hellions, and the Siege Tanks Cyclone composition here from Wooded. The pure mech. The heavy hitting mech. This might start to become very difficult here for Firefox. Try and get himself a solid position here. Now, I mean, he's doing some pretty solid maneuvers here. Moving back and forth between those mineral lines, trying to just get a whole bunch of damage, but he cannot afford to lose too many of these Mutalisk. Needs to keep them alive to try and keep this mech army preoccupied. Needs to keep the Mutalisk alive as well to try and get rid of any further expanding happening here for Wooded, as his army is just kind of stuck to one place, right? Those Mutas definitely can try to fly around and deal damage as much as they can in other locations. Now, the same kind of goes for these Hellions, of course. But the answer for the Hellions, those Zerglings and Hydras, and I guess the Mutalisk as well, a whole lot more mobile, more capable of following up on this one. Now, the exchange for Wooded probably is that he does have that very incredibly tough army. That if it does get a full-on army versus army battle, it most likely will win, even though it's behind with like 30 supply right now. That's no problem. That's no problem at all. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna do pretty darn solid even. Alright, Firefox. Trying to attempt further damage to be found here by those Mutalisk. Actually, there was no missile turret ready yet in the main base, but I don't think it will matter too much. Although, you know what? Killing off the SCVs that are capable of repairing here The Cyclone's good lock-ons actually as well, so only 3 SCVs go down. And I think he lost like 3 Mutalisks there as well. And now even gonna lose more of them. Great lock-ons once more from those Cyclones. Oh, that was close. 3 Mutalisks there with about 10 HP remaining. And Firefox like, yeah, let's try that again. Let's just fly it one more time. Did change his mind, luckily for him. Now gonna confront those Cyclones with his Mutalisk being that low HP. Now, this is where the rubber meets the road, of course. This is where everything might be the moment in time where everything goes sideways here for either Wooded or Firefox. He does try to take the engagement here with a lot of those siege tanks still in the siege. But quick siege there from Wooded. Being able to deal, you know, pretty reasonable with those Hydras, of course. We do have Vipers on the way, and Vipers are the way to deal with this army composition right now of Wooded. Also, Mutalisk could just fly in here and kill off pretty much most of the siege tanks. I'm not quite sure where those Mutalisk are right now, and we only have 2 remaining. That's what happens. Okay. The engagement did not treat the Mutalisk well just there. And siege tank coming closer and closer. As at least one base already being destroyed here. The siege tank splits are absolutely great as well. This is some amazing splitting that we're seeing here from Wooded. With those siege tanks, knows that most likely there will be Vipers coming up pretty darn soon, and wants to be prepared for when that happens. Except for these ones, of course, they are 4 of them together, but well, I mean, it's still pretty darn solid. Gonna be incredibly difficult for those this low amount of Vipers to really blinding cloud all of those siege tanks here. My dear lord, oh my god, Firefox taking so much damage here, trying to just take out 2 siege tanks. And yeah, cannot afford to be that indecisive there. Needs to commit to either just going for it or only using those abductions from the Vipers. Now, Firefox is expanding here on the left side of the map, which is a little bit unusual, I suppose, for a Zerg playing against a Terran who's doing mech play. Although, I guess he doesn't really have an option to start expanding northward. I really like the way that Wooded is pushing in this situation now. He made his reinforcements gather up on the left side of the map here, protecting his bases. And on the right side, he just put an enormous, massive army here, ready to just trample over anything that tries to push in here. And yeah, it looks like that is... Oh my dear lord. This is just so difficult for Firefox now to deal with. I can't really say what he is gonna have to do here. I guess, well, the one thing I can come up with is Swarm Host. Swarm Host would be pretty darn good against the army composition of Wooded right now, but I mean, there's just so much more now coming in as well. More Cyclones, more siege tanks, and another Thor as well. Those blinding clouds are pretty darn good though, abductions as well. But I mean, at the same time, there are Thors and siege tanks just casually strolling into the natural base here of Firefox now, who has to start rotating around. He can get a pretty reasonable flank here, a pretty solid surround gonna take place here, and coming from 2 angles. Oh, so many of those Hydras still a little bit clumped up though, taking a beating from those siege tanks, but they do clean it up ultimately. Now the problem is that, of course, Wooded behind this, he's been macroing still. Now still have 69 army supply, well 83 right now. Against, I suppose that Firefox is still maxed out, but how many times can he take trades like that? I don't think he's going to be able to keep maxing out as much as he's doing right now for a very long period of time. Wooded still has a very big bank here, ready to be used. And of course, every game has the potential to be thrown. Those Hydras are coming closer and closer. Want to get right on top of all those siege tanks together with those Zerglings. The Zerglings need to get right on top of those siege tanks. Actually, Never mind, that's a lot of siege tank. Please stop going on top of those siege tanks. Alright, and yeah, he's gonna be able to get a base here. Firefox. Firefox, there we go. Finding some economic damage himself here. And now definitely needs to take this opportunity to start expanding behind this. And the best way to do so would be expanding upwards, of course, further away from that mech army. Further away from the Terran that is expanding downwards here. The more distance between Wooded and Firefox, the better it's going to be for him. As he needs to just kind of outmaneuver his opponents. He cannot afford Wooded just to be able to make a siege tank line that goes from his planetary fortress to the expansion of Firefox, like we see on the bottom left there, possibly taking place now. Right, this is quite another terrifying army from Wooded, but it looks like he has left his economy completely alone here. A lot of SCVs just kind of strolling about here in the middle of nowhere, getting caught out by those Hydras. But that means that at the same time, of course, this base here at the 6 o'clock is not really protected at all. And those siege tanks are moving closer and closer. They are on creep, but I don't think it's going to matter with this amount of siege tanks when you're only fighting against Hydralisk. At least it shouldn't matter, does it? Are there still Vipers? There's 4 Vipers. Where in the world are they? Mr. Vipers, we really desperately need you right here, right now. Those Hydralisk trying to set off Widow Mines, I believe, but not really finding any type of damage. The army supply now is scarily close to one another when you are the Zerg fighting against a mech army here. Actually, Wooded had in supply great blinding clouds though. This is the problem if you don't have those Thors with you either. Those Hydras actually quite capable of handling themselves here. But of course a base did get destroyed, and Firefox once again finds himself in this awkward position where he's on a similar amount of bases as his opponents. Wooded, what is your plan? I think he's just going to keep expanding here, right? Should try to fly these bases over as well. The bottom left, this base as well would be absolutely amazing for him to have put himself even closer to the front door of the Zerg here. Gonna make it even easier for his mech army to push out. And oh my dear lord, those Hydras are coming in a little bit too quickly. Are not ready yet with the blinding clouds, and did take quite a lot of damage there. Luckily those blinding clouds weren't too far away, otherwise this pretty much all those Hydras I feel like would have died off there. I get that the time was it kind of was necessary to push in here as quickly as possible, though. Of course, could not afford to lose another base here. Could not afford to lose more of his workers. Now the Hydras here trying to start dealing with more of the Widow Mines. The production tab's eerily empty, honestly, for a game that has been going on for about 21 minutes. I can see Bibs just licking his fingers right now, seeing a pro player kind of just going with an army composition that he's probably a little bit familiar with himself. Right. Another Hellion run by does get picked up by those Hydralisk before any damage does get dealt. Another base here by Firefox in the top right. The bottom left now fully secured by Wooded. And as we can see, you know what, the base count, I mean, Wooded actually ahead right now. Income advantage towards Wooded as well, and overall supply as well. Advantage goes to Wooded. Now, honestly, I think if Wooded just kind of had a couple more of those Thors in some of his earlier pushes to target down those Vipers, this would have been even easier for him. But wait, oh my god, that's a lot of workers dying here. Those Hellions are finding quite a bit of damage. Once again, another run by here on this base, and yeah, 15 workers in total. Putting the total at 77 versus 51. This is pretty ridiculous. And now Wooded, yeah, you know what, he might just be able to kill off his opponents, although all those siege tanks pretty close to one another. A good couple of blinding clouds might be able to mitigate all the fires here, but Oh my god, this is so terrifying as the Zerg. 22 siege tanks. That is a lethal amount of siege tanks that are now spread out quite nicely here. Blinding Clouds need to be absolutely perfect. And with these Thors available as well, making life extremely difficult for those Vipers and the Hydralisk as well. We no longer have as much support from the Vipers, of course, and the Blinding Clouds. Need some Blue Flame Hellbats, yeah. I mean, the Hellions are working out a little bit better here, as he does have the ability to just kind of run them around and keep killing bases like this, keep destroying those mineral lines here. And oh my dear lord, Hydras, please stop moving forwards here. You have no idea how far this siege tank line goes, and he just keeps getting barraged more and more. Well, I'm not sure if that was worth it or not. That's a hard one to call. The Hellions finally finding this base in the top right as well. So are going to be able to start running into that one too, if he so does desire. More siege tanks getting closer and closer to the base. Great split so far, making the Blinding Clouds have not that much impact here. How many Vipers still available? 6 Vipers right now, actually. All of them trying to get energy, though. They're all low. Actually, 2 of these Thors overextending a little bit here, away from the siege tanks. Going for the heavy payload as well again. Those Hellions on this side. We need to have a couple of Spine Crawlers here, but Firefox just doesn't have the money to build those. Would it? I mean, his supply is similar, but that bank that this man has right now accumulated is absolutely ridiculous. The one saving grace for Firefox, of course, is that these types of mech armies very difficult to recreate very quickly. So if he does manage to get a single fight here, where he just does kill an enormous portion of these siege tank forces, maybe he's going to be able to snowball something into his favor. But it looks like there's just too many siege tanks, and it's too difficult for those Vipers really to get everything done. And once again, Hellions coming in here, killing off more workers after having put these siege tanks over here, making it very difficult for these Hydras to still support the top right side of the map. And GG is called. Wooded takes the first game after a very torturous game to watch here for the Zergs, maybe out there in the audience. Firefox fought bravely, but in the end, just wasn't enough. Wasn't enough. Now, as we get this other game loaded up in the lobby, I'm going to quickly run to the toilet. I'm going to put you guys on the overall well, you know what? It should be fine. Should be fine as soon as the lobby is loaded up. I'll be back in time before anything interesting happens. And we'll get that one sorted, but I'm saying that out of experience, of course. Alright. If it does get loaded up, of course, that's the question here. Now, what was map number 2? Everdream. Everdream was our second map. And Golden Wall will be our final map here, so let's keep our fingers crossed. Firefox did not feel... Okay, there's the map. Guys, I'll be right back. 1 second. Et voila. What did I tell you? Alright. In the top right side, we have our player that is one game behind right now, the Frenchman. It's the Red Zerg. He is a Firefox. In the bottom left side, there's a blue Terran. He is none other than the Finnish player, Wooded Microbe. He rubs the mic. Wow. Right, after that high point in the cast. We're gonna have to wait and see what these players are up to, honestly. I don't think we can peek any further in this cast right now. So let's just stay quiet a little bit and wait for something to happen. Bibs, I hope you enjoyed that one, my man. It might happen again here. I mean, Wooded might be one of those Terran players that just enjoys going mech against Zerg players. I mean, if anything, you do this mostly against Zerg players anyway, right? This type of mech play. You can have Terran do it against Protoss as well in some certain cases, but usually what they find is that the Immortal is just too strong against the mech. It is such an incredibly hard counter to those types of units that it is very easy for Protoss to just kind of make a whole load of Immortals and just win a straight up fight there against a very cost efficient army composition of a Terran. And make it very not cost efficient. Making it only very expensive to make and very expensive to lose. Alright. Now this drone here, I'm a little bit surprised. Probably is going to go for a nice third base rather quickly. Doesn't want to get spotted by that Reaper, of course. And there we go. Okay. Hellions most likely will be another time coming out here as the secondary units. Excuse me. What else? What else can we see? Oh, Overlord speed on the way. Link speed on the way. I need to secretly open up my drink here. Alright. And could this once more be a Banshee build from our Terran player? He's been doing it a lot, so it could very well be. Oh, that Queen blocking the potential to click actually on that Creep Tumor. Would it definitely wanted to grab that one. Went for it. Couldn't really grab it though, unfortunately. Wonder if you can do that on purpose actually. Just gonna put your Queen kind of on top of the Creep Tumor, making it harder for Reapers to target them. Because this is something you see a lot, isn't it? When the Queen, it's over here. And then just to the right of it, it puts down the Creep Tumor behind it, because that, in a way, makes it harder for the Terran to get on top of it, right? Because like that, right? So putting the Creep Tumor to the right of it. So the Queen's there, that's the Creep Tumor. And if the Reaper's here, then the Reaper's gonna need to, you know what, still be in the range of the Queen a little bit further, more so. But if you, interesting. But if you just kind of keep the Queen over here, it's going to be more difficult to click on the Creep Tumor, perhaps. Unless if they use these keys. Which not a lot of pro... I guess some pro players do. Just mostly for Widowmine scouting though, of course. Or perhaps Observer scouting as well. Anyway. I think this is more useful against Observers though. Just kind of scrolling in, back and forth. Didn't go for Banshees this time around. Did decide to add in some Liberators here. Nice position. Might be able to get quite a bunch of denied mining here. Killing of one drone so far. Quick reaction though from our Firefox, the Frenchman. And the Hellions not really being able to find a opportunity there either. Going in and just kind of head first into a wall of queens here. Now, is there any type of a follow-up? It looks like there will be a marine siege tank bush that is going to follow this up. And most likely we will be seeing a third base being thrown down pretty soon, I would imagine as well. It does kind of look like this build should facilitate some sort of a third base. So far we're not seeing it yet, of course. Oh my god, that Overlord. That one siege tank here. Oh, he's how do you call? Oh my god. Oh yeah. He's an Overlord sympathizer. That one siege tank was an Overlord sympathizer. NetSC, thank you for the follow. Hope you're enjoying the game so far. I know I am, but you know what? Always question if everyone else is enjoying it as much as I am, of course. Third base, there you are. After 6 minutes and a half, pretty much. Fourth base already on the way here. Full fire, folks. This attack here for Wooded is going to have to do quite a bit, actually. Is it still going to arrive in time? I mean, he still has all those Hellions here as support as well. He does have 2 siege tanks and quite a bunch of marines. 20 marines, actually. 42 links are available on the map, though. And there's 6 queens as well. Nothing else too much. Do we have a Baneling Nest? We do have a Baneling Nest, so a bit surprised that we don't have Banelings yet in the production tab. Probably didn't really see this coming in very, well, recently. Well, I guess too recently, actually, I should say. Alright, moving forward, the siege tanks unsiege. This might be the moment here. The Hellions still being able to do quite a bit of damage with the Marines shooting down the Zerglings here. And yeah, without any Banelings as a support, this could still be able to do quite a bit of damage. Needs to target down the Queens here. Some nice micro with the Medivacs as well. Carrying out quite a bunch of damage so far. Killing off one base. Want to keep those siege tanks alive. Killing off all the Queens right now. And moving on forward again. No more Hellions anymore, though, to really help out. And those Marines do get killed off eventually. Well, oh, wait. Maybe I spoke too soon. More Marines do come in here. And GG is called. There we go. Another game here won by Wooded. Yeah, I mean, just a couple of Banelings there. And that could have turned out completely different, of course. But hey, that is us with our omnipotent vision. And that's not how people usually have vision. Dreamzerg, gee, thank you for the follow. Alright, we're going to the other servers, and away we go. Following Miguel around. We're gonna have a Suna versus Exo Striker now. A up-and-coming Protoss versus one of the more established Chinese Protoss from Team Alpha X. Let me have a look-see. Asuna. Let's grab Asuna, actually. What's his age? He's 22 years old. And he has been playing professionally since 2018, I believe. Somewhere in 2018, he joined Cosmic Cloud Militia. I'm not even sure. That's probably not a fully professional team, is it? No. So, you know what? Probably came in as a professional on Alpha X. And that was 2019 September, the 13th. The 13th of September. Yes, September. There we go. I had to make sure. I'm glad I was right. Otherwise I would look a fool. My... Anyway, there we go. That's the invite to the party. Let's get everything up and running again when I have my visions, when I have my tabs, everything available. Yeah, so a little bit more of a standard game, the last one there, but still with it being able to do enough damage to just absolutely make Firefox feel like he had no chance anymore. I'm still a little bit surprised that he tried to defend that fourth base. I think he would have been better off just going for the defense on the third base. And then adding in a bunch of banelings as well. Just buying a little bit of time to get those banelings. But hey, it almost worked out. He almost killed off the Marines there a couple of times. Just coming a little bit short here and there with the circling numbers. So a little bit unfortunate for him, but that's how it turned out, and that means that we're gonna go into game number 1 of Exo Striker and Asuna, of course, because we did manage to secure himself that 3rd spot. Also, guys, we do have a Matcherino page. I don't know if you guys already did the Matcherino page, but yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do it right. Well, maybe. Well, should I do it right now? Let's give it a go. Let's give it a go. Let me set some stuff up. Make sure that it looks okay. So I'm gonna do some professional casting things here. All right, so if you have already helped us out with the Matcherino, thank you so much. You're an amazing person. And anyone who's gonna do it right now, thank you so much as well. You're an amazing person too. Just a little bit slower than the other people, of course, but that's fine. That's fine. That's, you know, we're coming from all walks of life. Anyway, this is the Matcherino page, the Alpha Scrims 12. All you gotta do is sign in with whatever account you want. There we go. Easy peasy. Next thing you do is you grab that code, you put that code in the coupon code screen, or the bar, the check thing. Oh, wait, what? You don't do that. All right, so then you press contribute. And my contribution has been added right now to the prize pool, and that's all. That's all it is. That's how easy it goes. Oh, wait, I need to accept this. Well done. Paying attention. Alright, anyway, that's the Matcherino page, guys. If you want to help out, if you want to support us, that's the place to do it. Use up that code, and then, you know what, if you want to help these players out, donate them some money. And they'll be playing for a lot longer. Anyway, game number 1, Asuna, Exo Striker. Is Asuna gonna play Terran? I don't think so. Alright, no, he changed his mind. Gonna go for Protoss. That makes sense. Oh well. Another PvP here, guys. Let's let's hope it's one of those great ones. Sometimes PvP can feel a little bit underwhelming. Sometimes PvP can be a rush of emotions. It can be one of the matchups that, you know, I guess a lot of matchups have that, pretty much all of them in a way, right? But I feel like PvP has that to the extreme, where it either feels a little bit dull, or it feels like, holy hell, there's a lot of random stuff happening right now, and I don't know even what is going to happen. As everything's just being blown up, and everything is just going back and forth continuously. And drops are happening everywhere. It's all possible with PvP. That's kind of the thing. It's hard to really know what to expect with this one. Anyway, here we go, guys. Game number 1, a best of 7 between the yellow Protoss in the top right. He is from Russia. He is Exo Striker. In the bottom left side, his opponent, the other finalist, the purple Protoss. Can he push his way through here? He is the Chinese man. He is Asuna. Now already we're seeing quite a difference here. We're seeing Exo Striker actually going for the wall in the low ground. Perhaps he is under the impression that he is playing against a Terran or a Zerg player. Or maybe he has something else entirely planned. I mean, I'm kind of assuming that we're going to be seeing the Stalkers coming out of Exo Striker. The thing is, if Asuna does go for the double gateway here with the adepts, maybe they will be able to kind of get their way into the main base. Because this is a big place to wall off, right? You need 3 buildings instead of just 2 buildings, and then you still want to keep an opening of 2 as well. I think, well, we'll have to wait and see. Let's keep our eyes on the gas so far. We're seeing 3 probes mining gas here for Asuna. 4 probes mining gas here for Exo Striker. And, oh my god, that's a quick Nexus here from our yellow Protoss. The young one, the Russian. Playing it greedy here. Is it gonna pay off, or is he gonna get nibbed in the butt because of this? That's the question, of course. Did go for the single square entrance. So any type of Archon is gonna have a difficult time moving out of this base here. Pretty sure Colossus as well. But then again, a Colossi can just walk across this cliff here, so I'm sure they'll be fine. I doubt that we'll be seeing a wall here as well on this side. That'd be crazy. But then again, we are watching Exo Striker, so who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? Anyway, 2 stocks here from Asuna. We're seeing a single stalker from Exo Striker. And so far, Asuna has not scouted one bit just yet. So he has no idea that this Nexus here is going to be this quick for Exo Striker. And you know what? In a way, I like this because it's a bit of a gamble, right? But not that many players do this at all in a PvP, right? It is so dangerous to not grab yourself those quick 2 gateways and try to get into a similar position with your opponent unit-wise, because we already can see it. There's 2 stalkers here, there's 1 stalker here. Right now there's 4 stalkers here, and you're about to get 2. Well, I guess it's halfway to have a second one. Actually, no, there is a second one here. So a third one, alright. Well, he's gonna have 6 though, so down goes that argument. Anyway, finally, Asuna gets a scout of what is happening here, puts down a pylon on the opposite side of the map, and immediately throws down the Twilight Council. Kind of interested in seeing how much damage he can actually find here with these Stalkers. The shield battery here, of course, is going to make life very difficult for our purple Protoss. But it looks like he's only trading energy for shields so far. And that's what you want to be doing here as Asuna. Just kind of trading slowly the energy away of the shield battery. But with the Immortal here, I don't know. That could be trouble. Asuna having his own secondary Nexus now. He has a whole lot of Stalkers, but how much can he actually get done with these? Alright, almost targeting down a Stalker there. A shield battery out of energy. Can we see the control of Asuna here being good enough? Needs to put those low HP Stalkers behind his high HP. It's taking him a little bit here to get that done. Oh, he's just waiting for more shield on top of those Stalkers. Oh, yes. 2 little adepts do get in. Oh, 1 shot did get whiffed, unfortunately. And the second one as well here. But, you know, the Stalker's trying to engage with a Immortal, but a secondary shield battery was created. And now, well, I mean, it looks like Exo Strike is just in a good position here. Has the army advantage. Has the worker advantage. Only slightly, of course, the worker advantage, but it's still there. And, you know what, he can kind of do whatever the hell he wants. Looks like what he wants to do is get a whole bunch of more gateways, first of all. Alright. I wouldn't have been upset if he went to grab a 3rd base here, but isn't his choice of action this time around. Blink on the way for Asuna and charge on the way for Exo Striker here. I think Charge Archon will be a very potent force, of course, with this. Blink is going to be absolutely necessary against the Immortal composition of Exo Striker as well. Need to keep those herd Stalkers as far away from those Immortals as possible. Or either, you know what, even if you do get a Immortal low, of course, you want to jump on the opportunity to take him down as quickly as possible and target those bad boys. Oh, this is unfortunate. Okay, well, never mind. For a moment, I thought that was just going to be a quick blink underneath the War Prism. But Exo Striker very quick with the walking backwards of his army there. Very, very quickly. And if he wasn't that quick, that could have turned out quite differently. Oh my god, he still loses it. I think that's only one Stalker as well being lost there, right? Maybe two, but I think it was only one. Anyway, yeah, the Blink now showing its value here as a quick engagement, killing off a War Prism, and then getting the heck out of dodge again. Second War Prism is going to have to be chronoed out here before anything else really can happen for Extra Striker aggressively across the map. I guess just engaging this Blink Stalker Force, not the worst thing that he can do. But yeah, no reinforcements are going to be able to immediately appear on this side of the map here for Extra Striker. Of course, a recall did take place, and now 2 shield batteries as well are available. 2 Immortals together with this 2. But 4 Immortals, you know what, always will beat your 2 Immortals, which are now 3 Immortals, I suppose. Targeting down those gateways, that's a really good maneuver too. It's going to be able to minimize the amount of defenses as soon as it's going to be able to warp in with each warp in round. An Extra Striker is still going to be able to just be in a lovely position with all his gateways still up and rolling. Here we go, in come all the charge loads. The Immortals need to target down. Other Immortals cannot afford to really target down the gateway here. So a lot of those Zealots do get targeted down. But maybe it's still gonna be enough here. Getting on top of the shield batteries, immediately being picked off here. The Immortal as well getting targeted. Another Immortal getting run down by a couple of Zealots in the main base. And it looks like that one is gonna fall as well. And yeah, that has got to be it here. GG is called. Asuna has to tap out here. Extra Striker taking the first game rather convincingly. Alright. Alright, that means that Extra Striker taking the initial lead here. Are we gonna jump over to the European side? The server? We very well might. Alright, yes we are. Okay. Oof. Oof, that's got to be difficult here to really... I mean... Asuna already having a bit of difficulty on a server where the latency is a bit about equal. And now they're going to go on the home field advantage for Extra Striker here. You know what, Extra Striker being Russian, perhaps we should consider going on the Asian servers, perhaps. I'm not sure in which part of Russia Extra Striker is, but I'm assuming on the little bit of the western side of the Russian, right? That's usually where most people are. I think that's the larger populated area anyway. The eastern side, I think, is very low with its population numbers. But anyway, that's just a guess by me, so... Don't take my word for that one. Don't go handing in that as a geographical homework assignment. That probably wouldn't turn out all too well. Anyway, Zen is going to be our next map here. You know what? Not a map I would expect all too often, but I suppose in a mirror matchup, not too bad. Not too bad after all. Still a lot of crazy stuff can happen though, of course, within those tiny, tiny chokes in the middle of the map. Still very difficult to really make use of. I still haven't really ever casted a game where somebody managed to get a full-blown surprise attack on someone as they are trying to go through the little middle squeezed area. Usually it's already in a situation where they are getting chased, and then they're getting chased through that tight choke points. Which never ends well, honestly, of course, but still. Sometimes it does, depending on the speed of the units, I suppose, from both forces. But usually that ends rather poorly for the person trying to squeeze his way through the middle here. Of course, also a great map for proxy stargates, guys. Remember that one. Proxy stargates are very, very, very popular on this one, as you do have a lovely position right next to the main base. Let me try and get into the... There you go, right over here, right? That is the space that you want to be if you are going to go for the proxy stargates. Very difficult to scout, as you do have to move about the map over here for quite a bit of distance. Anyway... Right in the top right side, one game behind so far. It's the purple Protoss from China. He is Asuna. In the bottom left side, we have a yellow Protoss hailing from Russia. He is Exo Striker. Alright, Asuna. What is your plan? Exo Striker not being as greedy as he was the previous time. Not gonna go for that low ground wall. He might actually still be greedy, of course. Might still go for that quick early Nexus here. I mean, it did work out quite well, although it looks like... You know what, Asuna is planning to send a Adept or something across the map as quickly as he can start making units here. Already bound on the idea that he's going to send something over there, as we can see the waypoints right next to the Nexus here. And yeah, Exo Striker, you know what, after taking that victory, isn't going to commit to another one of those gambles here, just adding in the 2 gateways. Probably a good, solid choice, playing it safe now, after getting himself that win, that victory, off the back of his quick expand and that little bit of greed that was coming out of him. A little economic butter, smoothing up that win here. Greasing the wheels of the Protoss production facilities. Oh boy. Oh boy, did I not call it. It could be a Robo as well. Of course, a War Prism here could be quite lethal as well. But there it is, the Stargates. Man. Man, oh man. Now, it is rather close to the edge of the ramp here, but I don't think a probe should be able to scout this. I think this is about as close as you can get without somebody scouting it, if he doesn't, at least unless if he goes all the way around, of course. But yeah, a really nicely positioned Stargate here. Ifm, IFYM, hello. What's up, my man? I don't know how to pronounce this. It's a tricky name. IVM. Alpha X team recruits Diamond player. You can join a team, or at least a Discord, right? You can kind of join a team. Which is fine. I'm pretty sure we have a lot of other people, right? Bibs of another member of the Alpha X team, the squadron. He's on the Discord server and all of that. Good jazz. We should have a nice block here. Nice, good job. We won't send you to any tournaments though across the world, but we're not gonna support you going to Korea. That's not gonna happen most likely. But I mean, you can join us. You can join the Discord and stuff like that. Exo Striker. Oh my god, that's heartbreaking, isn't it? Immediately taps out. Did not realize this was coming his way. And yeah, I mean, I warned him. Guys. I mean, this is just something you're gonna have to check for every single time when you're playing a Protoss on this map, especially in PvP. You want to send a probe towards that side, and you want to be able to scout out whether something like that is happening. Makes sense as well, especially if you're playing a Chinese man on your own server. Probably another moment in time where he wants to take the game long and go for a big drawn-out, micro-intensive game. That is doesn't seem like the best of bets for him at that time. Anyway, how do people join the Discord server? I'm pretty sure anyone can. It might be. Oh right, there it is. It's in. It's in the bottom side of. If you scroll down in the Twitch, you can join the Discord. There you go. There you go. All right, you're welcome. You're welcome. Ivim. You're gonna have to tell me how to pronounce your name at some point. And even if you do, I probably still mispronounce it. IVM. The IV. Okay. Next map, Everdream. We're in a tied up situation right now. Asuna managing to get a quick victory there. Dirty one. Dirty Oracle play. But you know what, it works. So you can't really blame him for going for it, especially considering Exo Striker going for that dirty play as well in a way, where he went for the quicker Nexus off of one gate. Something nobody really advises anymore in a PvP series, where people just kind of you know what, if it gets scouted, it's very likely that you're just going to lose against the first couple of units walking across the map. It's never a situation you want to find yourself in. I guess in the best of 7 you can take those risks a little bit easier. Without less troubled of the heart. But anyway, in the bottom left side, there's the purple Chinese Protoss. He is a Suna. In the bottom right, yellow, he's Russian. He is Exo Striker. Alright, so let me think this one through. Right. Out come the gateways. Out come the assimilators. And this is where it gets interesting. Extra Striker, are you gonna be the greedy boy you are? He's just scouting for a cannon rush. Looks like Asuna doing the same thing here. Both of them playing it safe, going for the double gateway here. And adding in another gas as well, of course. Alright, alright. Extra Striker doesn't want to get blindsided like the previous game one more time here. He's just gonna march across the map. And you know what, this map as well, I'd say is a pretty darn solid map for a proxy Stargate. I mean, if you put a Stargate on this location, right? Who goes over here with a probe? Who does that? Who would go all the way from here, like, to scout out this? When there could be potential proxy stuff over here as well. It's very difficult, and this is a pretty darn close position towards that main mineral line there. But it's not what we're going to be seeing here. It looks like neither of these players have committed to a second pylon anywhere else on the map but their own main base. Extra Striker once again showing the control he has with these early game probes. He's going to be able to keep it alive and get as much scouting information as he can with it. He's going to walk into a couple of those stalkers perhaps pretty soon if he doesn't manage to get himself out of here. Trying to make a full wall of. Gonna force those stalkers, of course, to stay in the main base here for a while. Also gonna be able to see what type of units actually do get created from that gateway. Doesn't want to know as much though, so it's gonna be okay. It's alright, it's all good, it's fine. And there is the second nexus being thrown down. Asuna, first person to do so. The probe giving his life to figure out what type of units are marching across the map here. Looks like Axel Strike should be absolutely fine though, of course. 3 Stalkers versus 2. And a sentry there as well to help out with this fight. Wait a moment, that's an aggressive pylon right here. Is it? Oh, it might just be to scout out for a potential third base. Is this for a third base? I'm not convinced just yet. We are seeing a Twilight Council. Perhaps he's just going to go for a big blink attack pretty soon. As soon as he has blink. But that's a very early on pylon to throw down for something like that. Is going to be able to pick off a stalker here. Is he going to be able to pick off another one? It looks like he very well might. Oh, actually loses stalker himself here. Now the warpins are about to finish up. But you know what? Trading 1 stalker for 2. That's not too bad. Now with the shield battery here and the gateway attack being available for Exo Strike, most likely won't be seeing too much happening anymore. Actually, Exo Striker overextending quite a bit here, and 4 more stalkers jumping in with the battle. Oh, Nelly, this could be very, very scary right now. 6 stalkers are available now for Asuna. How did he get this amount of army? Force fields was a little bit late here as well. 2 stalkers still managed to get in here, not buying a lot of time for the rest of those warp gates to finish up. Also an Immortal is on the way. Of course, the Immortal is going to have to carry his weight here 2 folds pretty much. Needs to target down 5 of those stalkers here. It's going to have to pull probes. There's no other way to do it. And yes, that's exactly what he does. But a quick move away there from Asuna. Realizes as soon as you start pulling those probes, I'm going to be even further ahead economically. As you are And tugs down the Immortal, kills off the Stalker as well. That was low HP. And, well then, GG. GG is called. Asuna taking another game here. Not too shabby. Being able to quickly get his reinforcements across the map there. And yeah, I mean, the initial couple of extra stalkers that he managed to get out there, I believe there must be some chronoing extra that he did, right? I'm assuming that is because he used more chrono on those gateways instead of on the Nexus, and then with that extra pylon there across the map as well, being able to basically get the reinforcements of 4 stalkers at the same time. That was very well timed out. I'm not sure if that was completely as he expected it. But yeah, that worked out perfectly. That worked out perfectly and very well synchronized. Pretty darn cool. Not gonna lie. Huh. Alright, anyway. Next game is gonna be on Nightshade here. There we have it. Nightshade, game number 4. Extra Striker and Asuna. Honestly, I didn't think that pylon would have been that significant with the war pins for Extra Striker also being available there. Of course, he had a shield battery as well, so I didn't think that Extra Striker would have lost anything early on there. With the home field advantage, even if there was a pylon across the map. Of course, Extra Striker still has the quick warpins, Asuna still has the slow warpins there. So it felt like, to me at least, that Extra Striker definitely should have had that one, but perhaps losing the 2 stalkers versus the 1 stalker there in the early parts, going for the sentries as well, without really hitting his force fields, you know what, just kind of snowballed into the advantage of Asuna there. Of course, if that would have gone further into a late game situation, Extra Striker would have had those sentries available, and those would have provided quite a bit of value as well in the later parts, but as of course they would have had more energy overall. Anyway, in the top left side of the map we have a purple Chinese Protoss. He is Asuna. In the bottom right, yellow Russian, and Exo Striker is also a Protoss. If you don't know what StarCraft 2 is, this is a Protoss. He looks a lot like this one. He just has a different color. And they're not fighting because they have different colors. It's actually because of religious beliefs. And they're both being guided by a different High Templar. And one of the High Templars did, in fact, talk badly about the new hairstyle that the other High Templar managed to get, and now civil war ensued. Trade wars are taking place, and pretty soon we'll have real wars taking place as well. So far, both guys going for, once again, very safe builds here. Very similar openings. Neither of them really committing to mining from that second gas for a little bit here. Only Extra Striker. Actually, this feels like it is starting to become a mistake. Why would you get this assimilator that quickly if you're not planning to mine from it? Unless if he's just waiting to see what his opponent is up to. Okay, is he gonna do it now? There we go. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Anyway. Cybercall on the way. Yeah, both of these players, they are not taking too many risks anymore. Alright. Adepts from Extra Striker. Asuna going for those nice and comfortable stalkers. Also the defensive units, of course. As opposed to those adepts. But then again, I mean, adepts definitely are quite capable of just killing stuff here very quickly. Robotics facility as well being proxied here. Robotics facility as well for Asuna. I mean, to be fair, I hear Protoss cannot produce any gas on their own, right? I mean, us humans, we tend to fart quite a lot. Protoss, not as much. Not as much. Just like they don't have mouths, they don't have any type of gas relief for their intestines either, so they are very unfamiliar with gas, and you know, it's logical then that you would in fact worship any type of gas that you do come across in the wild. Makes a lot of sense to me. Anyway, Immortal immediately being produced here by Extra Striker. Of course, it's going to be on the opposite side of the map, pretty much. Trying to gun down this one Stalker that is getting further and further away. Already lost a single Stalker of his own, and this other Stalker of Extra Striker getting quite low on the HP bar. Well, we might need to see more shield batteries being thrown down here by our yellow Russian Protoss. Suna, I mean... looks like he's getting ready for a... well, he's gonna go for a 3-gate with the Robo. He did put down a... whatchamacallit, pylon on the low grounds. Of, well, I guess near his... near his own natural, but also the main base, of course. So Suna might just be going for a big attack. Yeah. Well, of course, I don't know if it's really that big. It's only 3 Stalkers, but... everything for Extra Striker is on the opposite side here, so... I mean... yeah... I don't know. I cannot compute what is happening anymore. I think you guys are just gonna have to figure it out on your own. Good luck. Warp Prism Micro to the max here. Can we have Suna make a stand in his own base? We need to see good Micro coming out, but it looks like the Warp Prism did get picked off. Quite a lot of probes did get killed, but still, I mean, Asuna is still here, and GG is called again. Asuna going up 3-1. Holy moly. That was a civil war that lasted 5 minutes. That is... if that ever happens on Earth, we would laugh about it, but... I mean, we did see an entire civilization die there within 5 minutes, so let's try to keep things serious here, as we'll have to pay our respects to the fallen Protoss, the yellow Protoss, the Extra Strikers, as they are known. Anyway, game number 5. Game number 5 already. Jeez Louise, Asuna on match point. It looks like Extra Striker not really doing the best I've ever seen in PvP. Might need to grab some extra cats out of the bags. I'm struggling with words today. I don't know what it is about, but I'm just hurdling my way over, well, through all the obstacles here, which are vocabulary obstacles, pronunciation obstacles. Anyway. I like that you said good point with a question mark as well. Like, is that it? Is that how it is? Is this how Protoss are? Is this a good point? Did you just make this up? I'm not quite sure why they were... I mean, it was rich Vespian gas, right? And to be fair, I guess humans, they worship a whole lot of everything, pretty much, right? Humans worship everything, or if they have worshipped everything, right? If you look at India or something like that, right, where cows are holy and they have cows just walking around on, like, I'm not... Alright, but I shouldn't maybe talk about this stuff, but I mean, humans have some pretty weird religion stuff as well. That's all I'm trying to say. And the Indian thing is just weird to me because I've never been there, first of all. I've not been raised there. I've been raised in the Netherlands, where they get farmed in mass, and cows are just kind of food. So I'm insulting everyone right now. I'm insulting religious people. I'm insulting vegetarians. I'm insulting everyone. Let me try to Let me try to calm things down and ease things over with a good bunch of StarCraft 2 casting. In the top left side, we have a beautiful little Protoss, a young one from Russia. He is Exo Striker. In the bottom right side, we have a purple Protoss. He's from China. He is Asuna. And I can't help myself, but did you guys ever see like the increase in violence against Chinese people in America? What the hell is wrong with people? How in the world are they actually upset with Chinese people in America? And how do they ever even, like, how do you see a connection there with them and people, how, you know, the corona, where it's, I mean, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. It is, oh my dear lord. It's infuriating, honestly, how dumb people can be sometimes. But anyway, worshipping gas, probably something that is a lot less bad. Although they do kill people because they try to make use of some of the gas, of course, on a small part of the overall planet, I assume as well. As I mean, one of these StarCraft 2 maps, basically, if you take them to size, right, compare it to like some sort of a human city, I think this would just be a small portion of some downtown area, right? Ultimately, wouldn't be all too much. I guess a Nexus, I don't know how large a Nexus is supposed to be lore-wise, but I mean, overall, if you look at Marines and Marauders and stuff like that, it's like a small part of a large city. And I mean, a small part of a large city is a small part, a really small dot, really, on a country, especially a small country like, for example, the Netherlands, right? And then that is just a small, little, tiny dot on the overall planet. So, killing people because they are mining gas from this entire planet, which is just a small part of... I don't know why I'm getting upset about this. Anyway, you never should have brought up the campaign. This is ridiculous. Anyway, Twilight Council and Robotics Facility being... Okay, for a moment I thought both of them were doing the same proxy here. Looks like Exo Striker is trying to find it, though, at the top right side of the map. Isn't going to be lucky enough to find it, but he is going to be lucky enough that he is going to be able to get these adepts past those first two initial stalkers. Of course, it would have been nice if he did scout this, because there is a Dark Shrine on the way. Thank God that he is making a robotics facility. Unfortunately for him, of course, it is on the opposite side of the map, so he's going to have to use some sort of a recall after chronoing out a... observer here, ultimately, once this starts taking place. And he's moving his adapts back. I guess he did get screwed up a little bit there by the... Did he see the pylon? Yes, he did. Alright, so he knows that there should be some sort of aggression coming in. Okay, okay. Adepts managed to stay safer at the northern side of the map. Those two stalkers as well, still trying to find them. There's the Wall Prism, the Dark Shrine about to finish up. There's still quite a bit of dead space here in this main base. And the Adepts that were here now moved away. So this War Prism completely free to go up into this undiscovered area. And Exo Strike is still making another War Prism himself here. No observer whatsoever in this... moment in time, and 3 Dark Templar right now in the main base. That, oh my god, that shield battery, it's not going to be able to do anything whatsoever. The War Prism even joining in, and oh my god, GG is called immediately. That was rough. That was quite rough. Exo Striker not being able to figure this one out, what was coming his way, and having to tap out there. And that's gonna mean that we have a final winner here. Asuna gonna grab the overall series 4-1. Exo Striker being able to pick up that first game quite easily, having a nice little bit of mind games going on there, as he did get that first expansion very quickly. Unfortunately for him, afterwards, Asuna just ramping up that aggression continuously, and Yeah, that's unfortunate. I would have liked to see his Extra Striker win this one, but Asuna, just a very strong Protoss as well. And that's going to mean that that's it for tonight, pretty much. That's it for me for today. I'm not sure. I think well, tomorrow we will have a OSC little tournament here on this channel. It's going to be in the morning though for us European folk, around, I believe it's 11 a.m. Yeah, you either have the obs or you don't. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that was a very rough one. He could have tried to perhaps deal some damage as well with his own Warp Prism across the map. But he only had the single Immortal. And to be fair, I mean, if he just warps in some DTs at home, yeah, it's just not much you can do at that time. Anyway, I'm gonna go find myself somebody to host here, or to raid, I should say. Let me try to go for the following, and then we're gonna call it a day. Hope you all had a lovely time. I have been Kozen, and this is our final shout out for the Matcherino as well. So if you do want to help out with the Matcherino, definitely go check it out. Let me take a look. Steadfast is doing stuff. And who else? Creighton Olsen. He's playing. Okay, well let's go raid Creighton then, shall we? He's still casting strong. He's still going. I'm pretty sure I know his channel out of the top of my head. Let's see if this one is right. There we go. All right, lovely stuff. Okay, guys, thank you for watching. Hope you had a good time. I did, and you can check me out over here. Really Kozen, that's lovely stuff. All right, bye-bye, guys. I love you too. Bye-bye.